Let's have some A's in the chat if I should reapply my makeup and piss Peachy off. I'm on vacation.
So how has your week been, Miss Faye?
It's been okay.
Good Lord.
Just hanging in there, back in D&D and whatnot.
Ooh, anything exciting happen in D&D?
What the heck? We annoyed our DM like usual by making a whole bunch of making fun of his character names.
Sounds fair. Sounds accurate.
Sounds cold.
Cold as ice. Language, Lady Starsan. There are
children,
impressionable minds here tonight,
and you are the one.
Excuse me. Exactly.
Did you hear that Peachy put out a video where she said "fuck"?
How much did Leon pay you to do that?
I didn't say the word.
Lies, I don't believe it.
No, I actually said frick and like just bleeped it out.
Damn it.
I have the raw footage. I have proof. I have the audio still. I could just put it out right now and show you.
I was wondering what was going on when they were talking about that video, so I looked it up. I was just all like, it was funny. That was funny, Peachy.
They took off my on my actual video. They took off the rating. I put it not for kids, and no, I put it for kids because I didn't care. And now they're like, oh, we had to change it to a rated 18 and up because there was some explicit violence in this video. And I was like,
you put it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Be very careful if you say it's for kids. Depending on what it is, they can actually sue you.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
Do what she say.
I dare you. I'm black. I'm black. I'm a minority. I'm a woman. What else do I got?
You can't think of what else she is.
I'm poor.
Hey, Peachy, I think we've established that you don't get to claim the black card before I do. Okay, I think we've established it. I get to claim it first, okay?
Excuse me, but out of all of us here, I get to be the minority hire because I'm like the only white person at my job. Thank you.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Everyone else is black or Asian. Or both.
That's actually crazy. I never heard of that before.
I said it to my boss last night. I was like, listen, you can't get rid of me. I'm your minority hire.
Zamaria, Peachy, ever since I asked you that question, I keep listening to ballroom music and imagining that I'm dancing wearing my ball gown. Oh my. So on my stream a couple nights ago.
That wasn't
When did I stream? Was that last night? That was last night. Was it I was so tired that night. Oh my gosh. My last stream. Zamaria brought up what's your fate? Would you wear a ball gown or something like that? And I went on a whole tangent about ballroom dancing, ball gowns, and how not just any ball gown, mind you, a Victorian era ball gown. There's a difference. Oh my that's like my if I had a wish list or a bucket list, ball gown Victorian style dancing would be on there.
You can buy those,
love
right?
to. It's too much. With what money, Lady Starsan?
If you can't buy it, you know what you can do? You can rent them for a photo shoot. They have those things. And considering the series of states you live around, there's a lot of Victorian era recreation and photoshops where you live, especially in a particular town with particular things. Just saying, Peachy.
No, but they're actually recently a friend of mine reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I'm getting married.
Zamaria gets to drink now. Happy birthday!"
Oh, happy birthday, Zamaria! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to you.
I am almost at the point where I can sing again. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Yes. Only took me 3 months.
Hey, Peachy. So I didn't fuck up my eyeshadow this time. Check it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I was thinking your eyes look more prominent today.
Yeah. You're wearing the nude style look. It's like a not a brown, but it's
like a tannish.
Yeah.
I did buy. Let me switch back over, not completely to Opera real fast.
Did you do your brows too?
No. I never touch my brows. I never touch my brows.
I will say they look like they've been shaded in on the outside. I thought so too.
Could be the lighting.
I bought, and I have it coming in Tuesday, a new eyeshadow palette.
You have to have the stick cigarette thing with your Victorian gown. What do you a stick cigarette thing?
That's more flapper than anything. Victorian women didn't smoke cigarettes. It was unbecoming of them.
Unbecoming. Well, they weren't caught smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Here we go.
That's why I like to say, oh, women didn't do that back then. No, they weren't caught doing that back then. Like, they did it. Like, you just didn't see it. I refuse to believe otherwise.
Oh,
Ooh, pretty.
I just bought this.
Yeah. Be careful with what palettes you buy on Amazon, by the way. The ingredients is I don't like the ingredients is there are key ingredients you have to really look out for. And a lot of those ingredients are sold in Amazon palettes. So be very careful.
I told you. She's just like me with the mattresses now. You will never catch me not getting a Certipure mattress. You will like when I tell you there are rules now to a mattress entering Starsun's domain. It's just it cannot be. I have standards. And whenever somebody's like, I don't care, I'm like, you will care when your back hurts. But, you know.
I don't care that much.
I do. I'm starting to care. I had a mattress not too long ago.
I'm not talking about the mattress. Talk about the makeup.
Oh.
She's like, I do care about mattresses.
No, you really should, though, because it can cause you problems in the future, especially when it comes to, like, I don't know. It's just not great. There are some chemicals in there that can actually be cancerous if you're not careful. So just be wary of what you buy on Amazon.
I don't wear a shit ton of makeup to begin with anyway.
Well, they're talking about the fact that they say that if you wear it more than 3 times, like there's certain lipsticks, if you get them from China, because they have cancer-causing properties, that if you ingest it...
That's fair.
Huh?
I said that's fair. Let me see here. Fine. Scare me into looking up the ingredients.
But whatchamacallit? Yeah, I was doing my face lotion and stuff.
What kind of lotion are you using?
So I always use Burt's Bees. I know that I could probably get a more expensive one, but this is very affordable, and it's one of the few things that does not contain heavy oils. Like most of them contain like shea butter, cocoa butter, whereas this one's mostly cotton oils and aloe. So,
if someone tells me one more time that they're just use coconut oil or coconut this on your face, I'm gonna scream. So just because I'm black.
Coconut butter.
Is that it?
Just use coconut oil, Peachy.
Coconut oil actually makes my hair so dry and brittle. I cannot put it in my hair.
Like that's what.
No, Peachy. It's okay. Just use coconut oil.
That's what people treat coconut oil. Coconut oil, cocoa butter, and marijuana. People all treat those three things the same way. They cure everything, no matter what's wrong with you. Just put some coconut oil on it and smoke a blunt, and you'll be great.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is vegan.
As long as it's not tested on animals, and the reason why I say that is things that aren't tested on animals, they tend not to use heavier metals and things that are ingredients. I like I Heart Revolution. That's my favorite. Hold on. I'm gonna
favorite.
Yeah, it says it's vegan, so whatever.
Just because it's vegan doesn't Amazon
whatever the hell that means.
I don't know. I've learned my lesson with Amazon products. There are some nasty ingredients in there.
All I said was whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to.
If you want like a good drugstore branded makeup, Wet n Wild. My favorite drugstore one is called Joa.
That was me last night.
Joa is another favorite of mine. And Wet n Wild, Joa. Elf Cosmetics. Oh, they don't sell eyeshadow though.
I love how you just
she's gonna sail right past that. You know that.
No, I knew what she meant. I'm learning.
What?
I'm trying to see where it ships from. Give me a second.
Come on.
Never.
Hup. Don't just yell at me. Hup up. He's ridiculous.
My dog embarrassed me today when I was taking him to the vet.
Come on.
Took a whole crap on the car. In the car.
Oh my god.
On my coat.
So Sinbad did that. We were his first or second trip to the vet. I was by myself. I had him in a cat carrier. And I thought, it would be fine. This is the second time I took him. First time I hyperventilated, but the second time he did some kind of matrix move and projectile vomited and shit.
No.
All in the crate. and it like it flinged outside. It was, oh my God. And so then he's screaming because there's doo-doo in, no, Axel. Then he's screaming because there's doo-doo in the crate, and he was not happy about that. And yeah. So,
oh, poor baby.
It was a whole thing. But so speaking about just random shit, like I was saying before, one, I Heart Revolution, that is my favorite makeup palette series. You should check them out, Fake Queen, because they're like wicked cheap and they are very healthy. So they're like $10 a palette, and they have very, very vibrant colors, and they have really cute stuff. So like, whatchamacallit?
Uh-oh. This might be from China.
So,
excuse me.
I got this because it was cheap and on sale. It is a influencer palette, but so this is
I've never heard of I Heart Revolution.
So, and they have a very vibrant palette. Like,
I'm not.
Oh, they got one with a peach.
This is just one. Oh yeah, if you look up I Heart Revolution, they have food themed things. A lot of them. And I've got a couple of those palettes over here. I'm missing my avocado palette. It fell somewhere, so I'm going to have to buy another one.
Fell into the back rooms. Never seeing that again.
Somewhere in this room, it's disappeared. But I did want to actually, I've already announced it on my 2 other streams. Ooh. So I'm just going to say it here. There is a new mother in my family. Not me.
Oh.
My brother is expecting a baby.
Aww, congratulations!
And I've already, my sister-in-law and we always have this thing we call Sister-in-law's Day Out. And so we're going out on Wednesday, and we're going to talk a lot of baby stuff. Also, I just wanted to show 2 things off, okay? I thought of Peachy when I bought these.
Aww.
Because I didn't know whether or not you'd be happy that I bought them.
I'll be the judge of that.
So, very unassuming CoverGirl and Revlon.
Okay.
Look at that color. If you watch my Lizzo video, guys, this is the one I'm wearing in it. This is called Aqua Shock 102.
They need to call it Smurf Blowjob.
Right? Well, then this one, this CoverGirl, I will say this one smells worse, but it's very pretty. They're both metallic and blue, and I was like giddy when I saw them, and I was kind of feeling a little down on myself that day. A couple of shit went down for me, so I just spent $18 I did not need to on 3 tubes of lipstick. But there is one last thing that I am 98% sure is going to happen now, but I do not want to curse it. I'm pretty sure that we're going to go, like, it's going to be approved and we're going to buy the house.
Oh, congratulations!
So we just got to do a couple of things and cross our fingers and dot our I's and all that shit, but
I'll keep you in prayer.
Yes, please.
That's some great news.
So that's after the Lemony Snicket's shit I had, because like the 2 weeks that I was not here, you guys have no idea all the shit that went down, a bunch of little tiny shit that built up. So I'm like, well, I had a lot of bad luck. So hopefully now I'm finally getting my pond. Yes, my little fraud, you are getting one. But it only took Mama 5 years. But
what's the house look like?
All right, hold on. I don't want anyone else to see it, but I know you guys won't do anything.
It's a Victorian style mansion.
Oh yes, of course.
If there is doggone it stars, you better start that ball.
What do you mean I won't do anything? I'll sneak into the back door and just like have a hidey hole and live in your house. You won't even ever know I'm there.
Sadly,
I'll just
house ain't big enough.
I'll just walk in one day, just unexpected, just through your back door, and be like, Starzan, I'm hungry.
Oh my God, you don't want to do that around these parts.
Is it in the same state or a different state?
It's in the same state that I live in.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
is it in the same state? I hope so, or else I'm sitting.
Yeah, because I know everyone I know is moving. That's the only thing.
I hate moving. I don't just dislike moving. I hate moving. I hate it so much that even though this house technically does not give me what I want, I would much rather stay here and eventually knock this house down and just put everything in a storage bin and then re-put it back in the same house. So that is my house.
Aw, it's so cute.
Yeah. And it is not that big.
It's still cute.
You have a lot of stuff you could potentially do with that kitchen.
So it's bigger. It looks bigger than it is, but yes, that's like we have so much we want to do. We have so like see that wall where the door is? That whole wall I'm planning on making like a statement wall with one color, but I'm also where the window is. I'm potentially doing it there instead. I'm not sure.
Wait, there's so many doors and windows. What are we talking about?
So in the kitchen, just in the kitchen.
Oh, I'm looking at all these pictures like, oh no.
The bathroom, I want to get rid of those that's my exact washer and dryer. They came with the house. I want to get rid of those, and I want to instead whatchamacallit, get a single unit. And see that room that has all the stuff in it? That's this room right here.
Yeah.
That is this room right here.
Oh, your streaming room.
Yeah, that's my streaming room.
And cat room?
Yep.
Hey, can't kick out the kitties.
And then the blue room is my bedroom, which is filled with a lot more stuff than my landlord had in it.
Wow. Are you going to change the color? Or are you going to keep it blue?
Oh, I'm changing everything. And if you exit out of the preview and look at it, you can see that my lot is entirely trees.
That's beautiful.
Like we're on an old farmland. And yeah.
You could have a lot of bonfires.
You know what? I'm just gonna be nice. Since you sent me yours, I'll send you mine.
Yay.
Yeah, let me send you mine while I'm at it.
Last of moving to Texas. I dare you, Peachy Show.
You're only allowed to do that if you own your home, Peachy.
I will tell you right now. So if you girls are looking at the street view above, see how that road looks so nice and it looks paved? That's a lie. If you zoom in, you can see it's a dirt road.
Yeah.
And it is the surface of Mars. Like there is crevices and all sorts of lovely bullshit. But then if you go all the way down,
I love that it's like right in the middle of the woods.
Oh yeah, we are in the middle. Like that is one of the few real big benefits of my house is we are out where the banjos play. If you want to come for me, go ahead and try. We have 0 outlets, so you get in here, you're not getting out unless you run on foot. And are they selling it? No, they're not. Okay. I thought
congratulations.
But you know what's really crazy, girls? So about back in let me open this up. Back in January, when I went from Texas for no system, on my flight back, I had a connecting flight in Minnesota. Right? I get on the flight.
You didn't say hi to me. How dare you?
And who said hi to? Who didn't say hi to who?
You had a connecting flight in Minnesota. You didn't come to see me.
What the heck?
You didn't drive the 4 hours to come see me. I'm sad.
I only had 2. But listen, right? So I get on the flight, and because I'm fat, Southwest prioritizes you, right? So, Faye, this is beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, is this your actual house?
Yeah, we'll go through it once she's done with her story. I'll tell you where everything is.
So listen, right? So I get on the flight and I'm sitting down and I sit in the very front. I didn't have because it was only like a 2-hour flight. So I was like, all right, here's what I'll do. I'll sit in the front. I can't have my carry-on. I'll take out my few needs like lotion and Blistex because the height makes my skin really dry. Shove them in my boobs. I'm great. This lady sits next to me. And obviously she's going to Charlotte like I am because but I didn't know she had a connecting flight. So she sits down and she suddenly really wants to talk. I'm like, you know what? It's only 2 hours. What am I going to do? Just look through photos? So I took some really cool shots of the sunset. And then, whatchamacallit? We start talking. And we talk about everything. And suddenly it gets into my YouTube because she asked what I do. And I said, well, I work for a small online clothing company and I do YouTube. She's like, what's your YouTube? And I said what I always say to strangers. I don't know if you want to know that. I am very political. I'm very divisive for a lot of people because I'm honest, and that's it. She said she didn't care. Okay, so I tell her, and she thinks it's so cool, and she looked it up afterwards. Well, then we start talking about where she's headed. And I said, well, where are you headed to? She says, my town. I went, you're going there? And then she tells me she's going to a location, a park that I live right near. I'm like, I live right off of that on this street. She goes, oh, that's where my son lives. So I'm like, well, isn't that a small world? A month and a half ago, 2 months ago, she leaves me a comment, maybe a little more. She leaves me a comment. My son is your next door neighbor. I'm like, of all, how fucking crazy. So Sheila, if you're watching this, because sometimes she watches my stuff. So Sheila, like, she's so like, it was just like how like of all the things, like you always hear the phrase small world. But I mean, what are the chances that she's not only going to come to my state, my town, my and that's my mother-in-law. Diane, what are you doing up late?
Hello, Miss Lady Star Sands' mother-in-law.
That is Diane. And Di, this is Peachy and Faye Queen.
Hi.
So
you can adopt me. I don't have a mother-in-law.
I have 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a bunch. So I've got Diane and I've got Cheryl, and I lucked out because neither of them are bitches. So I don't have to worry about nothing. So it's great for me. And Matthew supposedly called you guys today. So, but yes, so it was just so. Whenever I saw that comment, and then I double check with him because sometimes Amazon screws up our packages. And so when I thought I got the lipsticks, which is what made me think of all this, when I thought I got the lipstick, I actually got something of his. And so he came over that day, and I was like, by the way, is your mom named Sheila? He's like, yeah, she told me about you. I'm like, well, also, Diane, let me know about the day you're coming. Anyways, we're planning them to come visit me.
Aww.
Well, I guess Matt too.
They show up and they're like, surprise, right. You're gonna help me move today.
Well, if we can get this house, I'm very excited for it because it's one less thing I gotta worry about when they visit. Because my father-in-law is a fix-it man. And I know him. He'll try to problem solve no matter what. And if this house is not under our name, I ain't problem solving shit. Because it'll raise the value of the house, which makes it cost more for me.
Ooh, that's not good.
Hey, Sheila, contact me. I'll pay you to dump a bucket of water on. She doesn't live here, bub. She lives in California. She's visiting.
Okay. Oh, I heard it's like a hurricane happening over there or something.
There's a lot happening over on that hemisphere, like that side. But
yeah, I hope you're doing okay, Diane.
Let's no. He's talking about Sheila. Diane lives.
Oh, I hope Sheila's doing okay.
Diane lives where you live.
Oh,
like I think like within an hour.
Small world.
Which is why I was saying if I ever go to visit my in-laws, I'll come see you.
Hey,
Christian, you didn't get a call from Starman today. Well, check Duggery. There was an earthquake today too.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Well, before we get into all of that craziness, please tell us about this absolutely beautiful. Oh, in the yard.
Okay. So let's start from the second photo. So the one of the living room. Let's see, the one of the living room. So the where the TV is kind of where we have ours, but we have bookshelves and stuff there. And then underneath the fan, we kind of have a like a setup. That's where our wine rack is, and that's where we make the baby's bottles. Over by the window is where we have our couches in like an L shape, and that's also where I normally stream. And then the baby's playpen is there. Then
Was it an
the
older couple you bought it from?
we don't have any of this furniture though. And then if you go to the next photo, you can see into the kitchen there. We still have that table.
A
And
sturdy
our
looking
kitchen
table.
and our yes, you can see it better in the next one. And then our high chair is in that corner.
Aw.
And then our kitchen's the same. We didn't really do much with that.
Well, fine, you do whatever you want with it.
Then, which room is that one
I
specific?
can't wait to get my own place one day.
It's so nice once you do. You never want to go back.
You know the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna decorate. This is so stupid too. I've always wanted to decorate the house for like holidays, specifically Halloween and Christmas. We never do.
Really?
Well, Christmas outside we have the lights and everything. Inside we barely have anything. And I want like lights. I want Santa. I want this. And they're like, but that's so much stuff to put away when we're done with it.
My
It's like,
husband's
that's
like
not
that.
the point. And it's like, no, it's magical. And I was not allowed to celebrate like Halloween or anything Halloween related. We have nothing Halloween in our house at all. I am going all out
So
Halloween.
then why don't you just come visit me
Oh
during
my
Halloween because I
gosh.
plan on decorating.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I already like I'm going when I go to work, there's like this Halloween stuff. There's already Halloween stuff coming out. I'm looking at things like I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that.
Oh yeah, that I can tell why you can't tell because they all the same ceiling fan, which I guess is nice, but
I don't like ceiling fans. They're just kind of there. You can't move them.
how many
You can't
rooms,
move them like an Animal Crossing.
how many rooms do you have, Faye?
Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to see something. Where is it?
I want to buy a house. They're so expensive. Yeah, me too.
I don't understand how you have less square foot than me. Your house looks huge.
So if you go to the first bedroom photo, it's just like a TV and a bookcase.
Yeah.
That one it's bigger than it looks. That's our bedroom.
That see now I thought the one with the bed in it would be the one you chose.
So there's a story about that, but the next photo, the next bedroom, the gray one, is actually the baby's room. And then the one after the bathroom is the room I'm in now.
I was gonna say that looks like the room you're in right now.
Yeah. So this was originally our bedroom. And then we decided to move upstairs because the room we're in has a little bit of a better layout closet and it was going to be closer to the baby. So
That makes sense.
we're upstairs. Plus when we tried to put her bassinet in here,
Mhm.
we didn't have as much room to because our bedroom upstairs isn't as wide as this room, but it's longer. A little bit longer. So we took out the dresser and we were able to fit her bassinet better and have more closet space by moving upstairs. So we did that.
Is that second bathroom in the basement?
The one right after, yes.
The one with
Second
the washer
bathroom.
dryer, yeah.
Yep. That is
big.
here in the basement. And then if you go to the first outside picture with the patio where the fence is, the fence on the side facing the street, we
Uh-huh.
tore that down.
Really?
And yeah, and where the patio is from one end to the other, he used to work at a brickyard, so he brought home a whole bunch of free brick and he built me a flower garden right there. So
Oh.
we have a flower garden there, and then out by the street, because we tore that fence down, we have a bush line that we're starting to grow there.
Nice. You have a beautiful like what I love about this house is that it came pretty much set for a family to build in. Like it really does look very picturesque. And the thing is, this is a house that would definitely be able to be sold very easily if you wanted to.
The house right next to us sold like within like 3 months. The people that lived next door, their oldest daughter had a baby, and their youngest daughter was in college about 40 minutes away, but she was still living at home. So they decided to sell and move to where their youngest daughter goes to college at because it's also closer to their oldest, so they can see their grandchild. and their
Aw.
house sold so quickly. Speaking of which, if I send you this as the last part, this is the house right next door. And if you go to the 19th picture, you can see my husband's vehicle. And on the other side of it, you can see where the flower garden is, if you look closely, and you can see the bush.
That's kind of so funny, though. That is so funny that you can do that. That's funny.
I got curious one day when I knew they were selling it, so I looked at the listing, and when they did new pictures, the Jeep was in it, and you can see the flower where we tore down the fence and the flower garden and one of the bushes.
What makes me so like giggle a little bit is that your state designs houses the way that New England does. Because when I moved down here, something that really blew my mind is how different the house design is down here. Also, Diane, I'm still stuck on October 5th. I'm just saying. She's talking about when traveling. I'm still stuck on October 5th. I'm just saying. I would like that. It's also my wedding anniversary, which is kind of why I want them here for it. Because just be really cute. But yeah, like there's no basements here. Like at all. Garages tend not to be attached to the houses, or if they are, like it's very weird how they're all set up. It's the houses to me can be nice here. It's just they don't really utilize the space the way New England and cold weather houses do. Like they don't have as much storage. When I moved here, that was something that really annoyed me, that when I moved here, storage is almost non-existent. Also, I want to state this now, ADHD moment, but because I didn't get to say it to the girls off screen, but since Peachy said it, we're not going to stream, or at least Peachy's not going to stream very long tonight. I might not either, just because I have been staying up till 4 a.m. every day trying to get that Lizzo video done, and I want to be awake on time so I can edit the next 2 videos.
Are you trying to get into the no sleep club too?
No, I just got out of it.
We're open for members.
I just got out of it. I'm trying to get you into the sleep club.
Never.
And
my brain won't allow.
yes,
it.
Diane, I want you to visit October 5th. But just in case the Starman did not say it, because he was saying that Duggery is, look at the front. That is so pretty. Is this the one you want to get, Faye?
I want that house. So
I don't
bad.
blame you. It's
Hold
so
on.
pretty.
Hold on, let me resend it because that one has like no pictures of it. This one went for sale shortly after we bought ours, and every time I pass by it, I want it. I want it so bad.
So when
I'm actually afraid to look at houses.
when Starman and I first wanted to buy a house, there was this house I wanted so bad. You can ask my mother-in-law, like we were aiming for it and we were right, but we got pre-approval, we had the amount of money, everything fell through.
Oh, this house is gorgeous.
Yeah, but you're the first, aren't you the first, Diane? Your anniversary isn't October 1st, you guys? I could have recalled it was the 1st. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, that bathroom.
Oh, wait, let me see, because that was an excited face. Oh, but it went up in value. Oh, that sucks.
Look at that bathroom. And I was actually going to say that too. I actually don't know if this is greedy of me or not. One of the biggest things I'm really hoping when I do move out and get my own little house one day, I can't stand it when the toilet is right next to the bathtub. I don't know why. And I do know why. I think it's I don't like getting out of the tub and like reaching for something and having the fear of something falling into the toilet.
This house screams,
I don't know,
90s elegance, and I love it. I hear you saying, oh my god, that bathroom. You're right.
Isn't it? Oh my gosh, that
I
bathroom.
want this house so
It's not near the tub.
bad.
Oh my God.
So
Say the
bad.
things you could do with this house.
I
Dude, I
know.
want
This
it
is what getting
You can
old is
hold
like,
balls.
guys. I need you to understand.
Dude, it's
This
like
is what
3
getting old
blocks.
is like. You window shop houses that you can't get because you just want them so bad.
It's like
Look at all
3
that
blocks
space in
away.
the basement.
It's
Only
3 blocks
418.
away. The pagoda in the backyard is perfect for reading.
So cute.
I love it. The driveway is like this like half circle. So like there's a spot where you could just have a giant flower bed. And like it's so cute. I love it so much and I want it. And every time whether when we pass by it if we're walking, I like jokingly tell Garrett like, yeah, go get me that house. Like go trade them our house for this house. Like go like old school, storm the castle, siege, take it over. Like
I have purposely stopped looking at houses for this exact reason because I got this one and I don't want to move. I don't. Plus, I can't. I promised my landlord that I would buy this house from her. So, and my brother was like mad at me tonight. He's like, "This house isn't good enough," and I was like, "You don't understand. I gave her my word. I will not go back on it because she sacrificed a lot to let us live here so we could buy it. And the thing is, this is almost 2 acres of land. Push comes to shove, I can buy it and knock the shit down and then just put up a prefab. So it's not like it's the end of the world, and prefabs are fucking nice. But for now, I will accept this. I'm happy with this because it's a roof over my head, 4 walls, and ain't no one fucking bother me. I can get as loud as I want in this neighborhood because half my neighbors are shooting off their semi-automatics. They're launching cannons. They're having mariachi bands till 3 a.m. Their dogs are running loose. Their chickens are running loose. They're blasting their rap music through here. So you know what? I'll stay right where I am in my little redneck ghetto, and I will be very happy because, for the most part, it's very peaceful.
when
The
you
only-
own the house too, you can always add on to it, change things up as you want.
Exactly, especially the amount of land. Like, if you saw, so all of that is like we're the only brick and mortar house in the entire stretch. That entire stretch of neighborhood you see, everything is either abandoned or it is a trailer. They may be well kept trailers, but trailers nonetheless. We are the only brick and mortar built without a double wide in the whole place. So it's got value in that. We've got almost 2 acres of land, and I can easily expand upon this house. I will say there's definite things like I hate the ceiling. It's this drop tile bullshit. I don't know why we have it. Let me see if I can show
That's
you
my
guys.
ceiling. That's my ceiling.
I-
Trying to say something?
Yeah, your ceiling sucks. I know, because I hate it. Like,
Yeah, it's not that great.
I hate it.
Spiders get in it.
Not only that, but you can see when
Oh,
any
you
moisture
farted.
got in at any point because it'll bow down just a little bit. Not enough to make it look like the roof's going to cave in, but enough where you're like, this whole thing. And when it gets dirty, it's worse than popcorn. It is worse than a popcorn ceiling because it's this like when you wipe it, you can feel that it's too wet and it might be. So yeah. Yeah.
Peachy, Bublito sent you a message.
My message on where?
On the screen. Look at the comments.
Speaking of spiders, what's that thing walking on your neck? Ha ha ha.
No,
Very
there is
funny.
something on the wall though. Girl, I got that layup for Bubs. You owe me for that one, bud.
No, but I did have to fight off I found a centipede in here like a few days
See,
ago.
those kill the spiders. You don't want to kill them.
I do. could stop a robbery tomorrow. They're dead the moment they get in my room. No. I have
See,
a crippling phobia of centipedes.
have I
House
told
centipedes,
you,
to be specific.
Peachy, have I told you my army that I have here?
Of
Have
house
I told you about my
centipedes?
army? No.
House. Oh, thank. What
No,
army?
no.
You scared me.
I have guards at every window.
Oh, the cats. Yeah.
No.
No.
I have Shelob, Gorlock, Carlita, and now I've yet to name the trapdoor spider at my bedroom window.
Whoop!
Name the trapdoor spiders. You already did
Named it
Shelob, do
Peter.
Ungoliant for the other one.
Which one?
I said you already did Shelob, do Ungoliant for the other one.
Angolian? Okay, I will do that. So we've got more, but I'm only naming the ones that pay rent. Okay. So Shelob has paid rent in those outdoor roaches. Gorlock has paid the most rent. That fat bitch. She got an abdomen that's at least that wide and that
Ooh.
high. Oh yeah, these bitches be thick. Carlita's the fattest. And so if anyone knows why I called her Carlita, you girls don't know. You weren't a part of the Star Sun Galaxy then. So during 2019, when my mom and my best friend passed away, at some point, because I my IBS was at its worst, so I was in the bathroom a lot, and I started looking up at the window, and I noticed there was a spider web inside, rather large one. And I was noticed it was attached to my curtains. So I pulled it away and I noticed this spider about that big flew back into the web. And I was like, Carl, you can't do this. And I just did not want to kill it. I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to rip apart this whole web. Well, then I started calling Carl my little buddy. And for 3 years, Carl lived in my window. And I said because they can live a long time. The spiders that live in the funnel webs, they can live for up to 8 years.
Wow.
Depending on, how many eggs they lay and things like that. So I told my husband, because we have a septic tank and because we live out in the middle of nowhere, flies are just naturally going to happen worse here. So as long as Carl pays rent, we will not kill him. We knew it was a girl, but I was called a Carl. And the moment that Carl leaves the window, and I don't care how crazy I sound, I pulled back the curtain one day and I said, Carl, the day you leave that window and you show your ass in front of me is the day you get squished. Well, one day, Carl disappeared.
Aww.
We couldn't find him. And then he was up in the high corner of the room and we didn't know what he was doing. A week later, as I'm going to the bathroom, it's like we were getting ready for bed. So I didn't have any pants on and all that jazz. And I looked down and right there in front of me, crawling very slowly, was Carl. We're pretty sure he was dying. And so I called Matt and I was like, babe, come confirm, is this Carl? Do you know what this man did?
He squished it?
Yes. I didn't even get to get a photo. He's like, I told you I'd kill it once I got out of the web. I'm like, but I didn't get to say goodbye. And so that is my story. Also, Diane, thank you, because he claimed he did. I know he talked to Cheryl, so maybe it's a text. I know he texted her. So I'm going to have to go peep his phone. But I'm going to beat him. He said he called. Because the problem is that I love my husband, but my mother-in-law can confirm. Faye, you can back me up here. I don't know if your husband does the same thing. When you have family that you're close to, typically the husband don't do the heavy labor of contacting them. The wife has to. And that's what I've always had to do.
For his side of the family, most of that stuff goes through his dad, and he talks to his dad regularly.
Lucky.
As far as my side of the family, I keep up with them, but there's a lot going on there, so
Well, that's
I don't do
different.
much with that. I I recently got a phone call from my mother. Yeah.
So how'd that go?
I got a call from a number I didn't recognize, so I answered it because it said it was a verified number. And I hear this voice on the other side saying, I got a new phone number. And my immediate reaction right after that was not to say anything, and I hit the hater button.
Did she try to get you a hold of you again?
Nope. Said nothing. Immediately just that's it. Hit the hater button and went about my day.
I don't understand why she keeps like you've made it very apparent what you do and do not want. I don't understand people. I don't understand people. I don't understand her. Because
She doesn't understand her. That's all I gotta say about that.
it's just ridiculous. So, Peachy, speaking of, how goes your battle for
I'm gonna
independence?
I'm gonna send you guys a photo real fast.
Go right ahead.
Discord, right?
So, Peachy,
Hmm.
how goes your fight for independence?
Ah. Aw, cute.
Hmm.
It's
I don't think Peachy realizes what I just
you
sent.
sent a picture of baby.
Okay, there's more there, Peachy.
Toothbrush? Oh right, yeah. Your baby has a first teeth, right? Her tooth.
I love how confused.
Yeah.
I like how she's sitting there like, I don't understand what this is, Ma. She's like very lost.
Yeah, getting a little tooth. Little toothy.
Cute.
And I had a feeling it was coming because she kept biting me and it kept hurting worse than it normally does. And she likes to bite down and pull off at the same time. And I got to the point where I was like, no, can't do it anymore. It hurt before, it hurts worse now. I stuck my finger in her mouth at one point, or she started chewing on my finger, and I was like, oh no, what's that? I was like, no more biting. I felt it. It's coming. No more. I'm done.
Oh my god. See, that's the one thing when and I know that I'm a minority when I say this. Whenever I see moms that are okay with their baby not only latching down but like grabbing the tit and just going and they just let the kid do it, I'm like, you're literally teaching your kid bad habits early by letting them just like abuse you for the milk. I'm like teaching them that they can drink without having to chew off your nip nap. Like that.
Yeah, because I I've looked it up about why they do that, and it's apparently because like they've emptied you and they're trying to get more milk to come out, so that's what they're doing.
Right, but still.
Yeah, I know. Like I hated it before. It's horrible now, and I'm just like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
One of my friends, her
Can do
baby
it.
split her nipple.
Ooh.
Oh, when she told me that, because so things I get afraid of. When I was 5, I remember this. I was in my elementary school and I saw a lady with a split earlobe. I was terrified. I've been terrified ever since of my ear getting split. So I get very like intense about like, that's why I wear the Huggies because they're very close, they're hard to hook. And I won't wear posts because posts, shockingly, are easier to split than a Huggy. And the other thing I get afraid of, which is why I never do the nip knot piercing, after I realized it was completely possible, I was like, oh, that's never happening to me. I'm just not a pump. Like, it was just horrifying to me.
Yeah. Thankfully, she only has the one. And usually she'll like, and I understand what she's doing now is like there's something there and she's getting a tooth and she wants to chew, but she can't like she can't do the bite down and pull anymore, and I'm gonna have to like. She's gonna have to
I'm just
stop.
imagining when she
Like,
bites down and pulls and just one little red scream.
Mm.
And mommy stops after that.
Blech. Nope. Nope.
so usually I'm just all like, okay, you're done. We're going to bed. You want to cry? Cry. See how I get her to stop though is she'll do that when the milk's empty, right? So the first time she does it, I'm like, okay, you're done, and then we flip over and she gets the next one, and usually she'll fall asleep and it has time to build
Right.
back up. So that's usually my go-to. Okay, I'm empty. Let's turn over because you're not doing that again.
Right? Like flip flop. Thank you. Whatchamacallit though. See, FaZe as tired as we are. We're in the right. She's got that sharp eye look tonight. Oh, good night, Di. Love you.
Good
And also, yes,
night.
you were right. I kept thinking because I didn't go to work today. Instead, I worked on my YouTube all day. I wasn't thinking. You corrected me. Thank you, Di.
We do have a topic we were
We
going
do.
to discuss.
I think we have enough time to cover it before we all fall asleep because we're all getting old. But whatchamacallit? Faye, do you want to lead us in? Do you want me to lead us in?
You go ahead and lead us in.
We didn't get to include you, Peachy. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So we were talking about because I've been watching a lot of just police arrest records and true crime, and I think what interests me the most this week is mothers that take it to the next level. And next level being mothers that end their own children or use their children as a tool. Like, for instance, that little girl, I say little girl, but she's 19. That one who didn't know she was pregnant, even though you could see in her cheerleading videos, she was very evidently pregnant. And then when she gave birth in the bathroom of the hospital, she covered up everything as best she could, and she put the baby in the bottom of the trash can and then put the
I don't see. I don't want to talk about her because I'm
she
so
mad,
angry.
right?
Like, I'm so mad about that. That's been going on for so long, and every time I start to think about that, I want to cry.
Me too. Like, but it's people like that where then these girls, like, then there's another one who she just gave birth recently. This blonde girl, and she had a cryptic pregnancy. Okay, so why did she gave birth at the hospital too? She had no idea she was actually pregnant. You didn't see her trying to off the kid, and it's just I don't know. It's just stuff like that. So like that's what I was trying to wonder. Like, and there's different levels. There's women who get surprised at being a mom, and they take care of the kid. And then there's women who have kids for a long time and they either use them as a tool to abuse their ex or even worse. Like these are things that I think about all the time as someone who wanted to be a mother. I don't understand how anybody could have a child and use that child against their parent. Like use them as a weapon. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like why you would put your kid through that. And there was a lady I was watching today on Bose versus the World. She had 3 kids. First a girl, then a boy again. 3 dads. The first 2 dads were first 2 marriages, and both ended badly. And the little boy, like she would get mad anytime he was happy with the dad, and she would abuse the little boy and then claim it was the dad. And I don't know. As children in the situations that you were in, and one as a mother, do you even have any headspace where you could understand these actions?
I want to say mine's going to be until I explain it, it's going to be a little off-putting, but I'm going to say yes. Now, that can explain these actions, but I'm speaking from a personal experience of someone outside looking in at a very specific
Okay.
situation. Okay. In general, If you're doing it to get back at someone, no. You shouldn't be doing it to get back at someone. Now, or just to make someone's life a living hell. Like, don't weaponize someone's children against them. Now, I have a best friend who had a baby when she was 19 with another person that I know. I was friends with both of them. And around the time when it got closer to her to give birth, they had broken up, and I had kept hearing stories about him saying some very mean, horrible things. Stuff like he wishes she would have gotten an abortion, different things like that. His mother was barred from the hospital and kicked out for being in the waiting room of the ER, not the birthing area. Saying things like that wasn't his baby, and a whole bunch of other stuff to random people in the lobby. And I know about this because I went up to the hospital when she was giving birth, and her stepfather had walked down to the main area in the hospital to get something from the vending machine or to go out to smoke. I think it was to go out to smoke. And he heard her and cursed her out. So, 'cause she had a very like difficult pregnancy and a difficult birth too. So there was like a lot. Everybody was on edge. Fast forward, this is like we're now 4 or 5 years later, and there have been times where I'll go. Her baby is mixed. She's white. Dad's black. There have been times that I have gone over and braided his hair or watched him and done things like that. The father says things like, "You're not allowed to do that without talking to me first." And she's the custodial parent. Um, and she's just all like, "I don't get his hair cut. We don't dye his hair. We don't do any major changes to his hair without talking to each other first," is what her thing was. Him getting his hair braided, completely different
Right,
story.
because easily taken out when he gets to his dad's.
Right. So I'm apparently supposed to message him and ask before I touch the kid's hair. Not happening. Okay. That's not between me and you. That's between you and her, and you guys can
Right.
discuss it. But now we have situations where after the baby was born and right after I had gotten with my husband, he had been making remarks and comments saying things like I was going to be his future stepmom. That wasn't happening. Then there were, and he said this in front of the kid. That was the last time I went to go visit him to see the kid, because at the time she was living a bit further than he was, and when I wanted to see the baby, I would go over to his place.
So in other words, he was upset that the
Because
mom was a white woman to begin with. He wanted a black mom for the child.
no, he just wanted to treat her like shit, and I don't know why he thought it was okay to say that in front of me, in front of the child, considering I've been friends with her longer.
Right?
Like, I wasn't gonna say anything. Like, I'll take the 40 minutes to go see her and the baby now instead of taking the 10 minutes to come see you and the baby when you have him, because you want to make comments like this. It's disrespectful to me and her. So then on the flip side, he wants to make all these demands, but he does things like cut his hair without asking her. He'll have um he'll supposed to be picking the child up, and he'll not show up or say he's sending someone else to come do it and they never show up. He does things like demand certain holidays and different things like that. And then when she gets mad because he does things like last minute and messes up with what she needs to do, he like yells at her and tells her to like be more mature and things like that. And I'll have her on at some point once her internet comes back. But um so she'll tell him things like, "Hey, we're trying to do this together. Like, we don't have to like each other, but if you want to know who's had him on which, because they try to alternate holidays, if you want to know who's had him on the last of this holiday, just look back at our messages because we only talk to each other if it's about the kid. Not hard. You can search Facebook, like your Facebook messages."
Right.
So he does things like that. Like, he tries to make her life a living hell and just talks to her any which way. In her case, I would be understanding if she just talked straight shit about him in front of the kid. But she has such a big heart and is one of those people that even to this day Like she did when he was younger and didn't understand
Right.
anything. Now that he's 4 and 5, she stopped doing it because even to this day, she still has in her head whether she hates him or
That's
not,
still his father.
that is still his dad, and she will not talk shit about him or try not to while her son is around.
And I definitely appreciate that part of it. I will say, supposedly there's studies that even when they don't understand it, they can understand supposedly the energy of like, you know, you can tell when they hear the keyword daddy, for instance, and they hear daddy, daddy, but mom is saying it angry. And I will say I've seen it with some friends who I have friends that I love dearly, love them. But they're the kind of people that'll be like, I do it all by myself. You don't do jack shit, even when dad's in the kids' lives. You don't do shit. I do it all. Not true. They do get a lot of help from the guy. And the thing is, they just say it just because some of them have attitudes. I love them, but they have attitudes. And they were raised by women who say, you don't need no man. If you have a baby, that is your baby. It's not his baby. He's just there for the ride. And I think it's still a bad mentality. I like the idea that yes, you're being taught, you have to take responsibility for your actions, and if you have a kid, you have to be there for your child. Great, love that portion of it. I don't like the whole acting like I don't need your daddy when you're in the same house with that daddy, because it just it am I making sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
And
what
so
you're saying.
that's the people I know like that, and I have seen the kids kind of reflect that to an extent afterwards as well. So I agree with you. It's great that she stopped once he especially understood. But I was just saying, for devil's advocate, they supposedly said even when they don't understand, they understand. But that also goes into things where supposedly kids, when they're born, something that their great grandparent went through, they'll have some kind of instinctual reaction. I don't really believe that, because they're trying to compare it to, like, again, follow my breadcrumbs. You know how, like, they say, well, how does salmon always know where to go? Well, how do buffalo know where to migrate? Things like that. And there are animals who have never been with the wild populace that'll still know these things. It's generational instinct. I'm like, yeah, that's after thousands of years of them doing the same thing. This is like it happened to one person in the family once, and they never met that person. Don't. So that's where I find some of the science to be a little.
What if it has been going on for 1,000 years?
I think they'd know.
Would they though? Like that's how problem children kind of happen, right?
Mother ears.
Uh-oh.
Mom ears. She hears an upset child and she going for it.
Oh, daddy is. Never mind.
Faye, I have a bone to pick with you.
Hmm?
Where you been hiding that ass? Look at that little bubble butt. She stood up and I was like, wait a minute.
I literally sent you a video that apparently you have not watched, Starfan.
Girl, if you look at my Instagram, I have got missed messages from half the people in this chat, because I get bombarded, and I'm not upset about it, but with everything going on,
Hold
I
on.
just don't have the time. And so I get
Hold on.
videos from Edie, Rachel, Black Cats. I have 4 other friends that send me stuff. And then on top of it, when I get a bunch of things from Discord, I never look at Discord. So that's even worse. Like, if it happens on Discord, I never know.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
She's like, I'm sending it to you. You better watch it right now. You better be in a bikini then make it worth my time.
I got you. I got you. Hold on. PG, do not click this link.
PG, She's like, I want to now.
I kind of do.
No, you don't.
No?
No.
It's a video.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Starts in space.
It's the reason she got her husband. Hold on, I'm still watching.
You leaned all the way back. Hey, Starson, I bet you won't find that in your beach.
Oh, my eye.
Can't hear you if you're speaking.
You and I share the same flexibility.
What's in that video?
I was only joking about the bikini, babe, but okay. Just looking at my list of recent subscribers, and apparently a full-blown Satanist content creator. Hey, you know what? You might convert them, Christian. Remember, you got to lead the faithless in black magic. Remember, you want to you show the path of God. Now, what? It's not the path of God. What she's showing. But I will say, Faye, you have a very excellent spin and fantastic landing. I am very impressed. Is that a career or just for fun?
I was messing. See, I used to work there as a bartender, so there it was empty, and I was messing around because there was absolutely no one there. The person who filmed, her name was Mary.
Yep.
So
Did she teach
she
you?
just came up. No, I learned by watching.
Hi, James. Do y'all know the monarch butterfly migration? They avoid Lake Michigan, and scientists think they used to be right. I've heard. See, that's what I'm talking about, the generational memory. Agreed. I did hear about that. Let me tell you something. I have been granted a permission. I feel the urge to finish the video, but it's long.
It's the length of the whole song, or almost the whole song, until I got tired. I was just like, I'm done.
The shoes play a part. I will say, supposedly those shoes that you're wearing, they don't. Wow! That had to hurt. So you're a visual learner, I see. Very impressed. I won't lie. Very impressed. Again,
I'm too fat to do any of that now, and I hurt like hell to even
I was
try.
going to say that looks like it already hurt, because I know it takes a lot of callus building to get that way.
Not necessarily. It's just like with any exercise. Once you get used to it, it doesn't hurt.
Well, see,
But getting there is so. See, here's the trick that people don't know is that what they do is they put rubbing alcohol on their hands and wipe it so you stick.
I'll tell you what.
And it's more, and you don't hold on with your hands, you hold on with your legs.
That's what I was saying. See, my legs, that would hurt. And Peachy, you don't want to see it. No. But I will say, we should all congratulate Faye. Because now we know how she's. I stopped right on a back view. Okay. Let me tell you something. We now know how Faye sealed the deal on that ring. That's all I know. But very impressed. I do not have a similar video to share. I'm just letting you know. And any of the cute little photos I have from back when I was like your size, they're on a computer somewhere in that closet that is a Gateway 2000, so I don't know if I can get it on. I have to get the hard drive open, but Peachy, someday when you turn 18, do the video.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. But ladies,
Someday, a
I think
long
I gotta
time
go. It is 12:41. I
Yes.
gotta be up in like 5 hours.
Go. We love you. I'm not going to stay on much longer myself.
I'm sorry?
I'm not going to stay on much longer myself because contemplating if I'm going to record my water talk video tonight or not. I'm not sure.
Just sleep it off first, because you'll wake up in the morning and go, what did I just record?
Oh no, I always do that.
Oh, really?
I never script a single video. Ever.
Oh, I'm not fortunate. I haven't got that. I'm not that level yet.
I couldn't. Even if I was on that level, I hate scripting. I'm better when I'm thinking off the fly.
I'm better at scripting. It's really weird. Like, and I don't script it either. I like do bullet points. I'll read the bullet points. I'll just kind of go from there.
Right.
Like,
I
it's
kinda
weird. I
wanna-
can't. I don't know.
Can I share something before Peachy leaves?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Okay, 1 second. I gotta find it. Come on.
How long's it gonna take?
Yeah, 'cause
It's not gonna take very long. Give me a
she's gonna
minute.
turn off the camera, turn right around, go to
I am very tired.
Good. That's not the sleep.
1
That's not
minute.
the no sleep club, Peachy.
No, like I get tired, and then as soon as
Okay.
I'm in bed, I'm not
Got it.
tired. It sucks.
I got it.
My body's
I
tired. My
got it.
brain is not.
Is it appropriate?
It's
Oh, this
appropriate.
video.
I strive to make sure our employees and customers feel safe and supported above all else, as their overall well-being and comfortability will always be our top priority. As a team, we happily and proudly support all individuals no matter their racial background, and any questions and inquiries you may have can be answered in our anti-racist action
That's
What?
Peachy.
Wait, what do you mean
That's
take
true.
it down? But we need to... Well, if you say so... Oh, you have something for me? What's this? Oh, that's... Sir, this is a pink slip. What the f*** do you mean because I'm... At Best Buy, strive to make sure our employees and customers...
See, now that's acting. That's different. That was also really good.
Oh, thank
So
you.
You do the intercom things too, don't you?
Intercoms?
Attention, Walmart shoppers. The time is now 10:45 and your local Walmart will be closing in 15 minutes. We ask that you please-
Get your shit and get the fuck out.
Yo, we had a
No, I don't do the intercoms. That'd be funny.
Oh,
though.
I love doing the intercoms. And
I've never done the intercom.
Oh, I love the intercom. I'd always love to be like, thank you so much for shopping at Walmart, where you can save money and live happy. Good night.
Does anyone ever listen to those things? Really? Well, it's different when you used to work for the company. If you're a regular old customer, never worked retail, no one listens to those things.
See, ever since I started working retail, I will listen to the intercoms at any company I'm at because I'm like, what's that code mean? And I'll look and I'll watch the associates. Because they'll, whether it's a code orange or a code silver or a code amber, which is usually an amber alert, you can always tell a severity by when the associates go, and then they all bolt. So that's what I like. I like learning that shit. But you go to sleep. That was a very good video. Thank you for
Oh,
showing
thank
today.
you. I just did something I did for fun, but thank
I
you.
think you did.
Next one will be the Nutter Butter.
No.
See, now, if she makes a TikTok with videos like that, girl, that's how you're going to get viral.
Wait, about what?
What that video you just made? That video you made?
Oh, I try. Apparently, YouTube Shorts you can't make a YouTube short on a PC. You gotta like upload an actual video, then you gotta do it on your phone. It's so
yeah,
dumb.
you got to do it through your phone. But
Ugh.
once you do the editing, I'll teach you how to do that. That's easy.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I actually almost deleted it because I didn't like it.
No, you did a good job on it, but don't worry. I'll teach you. How you think I do what I do? I do everything through a bubblegum and duct tape process, but it works.
Yeah, but making shorts are fun. I might be doing that more often.
That's the one thing I'm mad about my TikTok, that it got deleted, because making shorts on TikTok so fucking easy. So easy. And then I can't get into the TikTok that I made to replace that TikTok because I can't access that email anymore. And so I don't know how to get the email replaced so I can get back into it's a whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm very annoyed.
All right, everyone. It's nice to have you. Nice to see you, ladies.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm half dead to the world right now. Until I get in bed and my body's gonna be like, now you can't sleep.
Yeah,
That's always how it's
just
been.
imagine sheep and me saying,
That never works on me. Sheep, no. I just remembered this. I started doing this too when I can. Rainy day antiques from the Headspace app.
you love that. You know what helps?
Type in, if you ever have the chance, type in rainy day antiques. And I wonder if I could show you. I know I gotta show y'all. Hold up.
Imagine this.
It's the voice behind Rainy Day Antiques and the way it's written. I've never finished it before because I'm always halfway asleep. I've never finished it, and I completely forgot. I used to listen to it, but then they locked it out because now I gotta pay for it, and I was like, but they put it on free on YouTube, and I just discovered it.
See this for me right here.
YouTube.
Cat laying on me, my face against the fur. That is, I could fall asleep right here. Would hurt my ass and neck afterwards, but oh.
This is it. Can I show y'all?
Yeah.
Is it a thing? Can I do that?
But then you better get to sleep after this.
I will, I promise. I'm not gonna, it's a 45, I'm gonna listen like a few seconds of it. Just skip it, actually.
And noting any thoughts and feelings that arise.
That's Attenborough. That's David Attenborough.
No, it's not, actually. It's, I love it. I'm listening to it. It's his voice. He tells a story. So the whole point of the sleep story is you're a visitor of an antique store called Rainy Antiques or something, and you're exploring the shop pretty much. And he just kind of describes your journey, just exploring. It's so relaxing.
But do you know
I've never finished it.
But do you know who David Attenborough is?
No, but that's not him. I remember reading his name. It wasn't David Attenborough. It's in the comment section.
Okay, well, I want you.
His name is.
Sorry, Axel, you gotta get down, bud. Hold on. I'm gonna show you something, Peachy.
Simon Preble. No, I want to go to sleep, Lady Starzan. That's all I wanted to show you.
Hold on. You're gonna see. Hold on. You're gonna see. Hold on.
What is sleep? I want to know what that is. Please tell me.
Come on, shut up.
Adele be cross with me.
I think Adele would probably love this more than anything in the whole world. Like most of people in the UK and around the world, they're pretty big fans of yours.
Shall I give it a go?
Why not?
The year is 2015. The world appears to have a green tint to it, but there are also some dead insects in the foreground.
What? That is David Attenborough. If it's not him, that man is imitating David Attenborough. Hold on.
They do sound similar.
Don't
worry about that for now. Look as the world's most famous pop star zooms down a dirt track in an old Mini. Money certainly hasn't changed her.
So now,
who's Simon Preble then?
I don't know, but I'm telling you,
maybe it's an alias name.
From here on out, if you ever need more content besides Rainy Day Antiques, just look up any documentary by David Attenborough, which is literally all of National Geographic and all of Discovery Channel and all of Science Channel and all of the History Channel. The man has narrated half the world.
I got one more thing for Peachy.
Oh, more Peachy news. Okay.
She's so exhausted.
Ready?
Audible Inc. presents Go the Fuck to Sleep. Written by Adam Mansbach. Narrated by Samuel L. Jackson.
The cats nestle close to their kittens.
This is licensed. We can't keep it on. But yeah, that we can get We can get clocked for it, but that is also very helpful. See, that's why I played that interview, because it's not licensed. It's just an interview. But
True.
But
All right, ladies.
go to bed.
Go the fuck to
Yes.
sleep.
I gotta wake up in another. Actually gotta wake up in an hour to give my dog his medication every 8 hours.
You can't give it to him now.
Can I? Is it would it affect him? I don't know.
I don't know. Does the bottle say it has to be every 8 hours?
Yeah, it says every 8 hours give him this medication to help with his for those who don't know, he has some really bad irritations on his neck, and it's a bit worse than I thought it was. He's getting better though, it's just really slow progress. Poor baby.
I don't think you have to be exact with those 8 hours.
You sure?
I don't think you have to
He
be
didn't eat the
exact.
thing anyway. You're right. He didn't eat the whole pill. Ah, so I think I can give it to him now. He chewed on it. The contents fell out and all over the carpet. He just kind of went and walked away. And I was like,
Little bastard.
now I gotta put it in peanut butter or something like for him to eat it.
Or cheese. Cheese.
We don't have cheese.
Do you have bacon?
We do, but it's cold bacon.
I don't think he's gonna care. Microwave it. He'll be fine.
Stop it. All right, ladies. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
That'd be-
Prayers for my job.
Yes.
tomorrow. Or tonight, in a couple hours, actually.
Gotta say,
Yes. Bye.
New
Wait.
job.
I was gonna say, kick her out.
She left on a scream.
I was gonna tell you to kick her out.
Right? We're both tired,
So-
girl. Let me tell you
No,
something.
I went to church and did not have a nap like I normally do. So yeah, I'm getting.
I'm
there.
just exhausted because, like, so I got up on time to go to work today. And when we didn't end up going to work because it was a whole mishap, my coworker's son, I don't want to tell too much, but and the story was a drama. So she didn't get to come in. So nobody's gonna come in. So my boss was like, she called her husband and her son. She's like, it's too many people for a Sunday because it's 2 in the kitchen, 1 in the front. So she doesn't need 3 people. And apparently it was dead today because where I live, it's the first week of school. So she was like, it's worthless. So I have today, tomorrow, and Wednesday off because Wednesday I go with my sister-in-law to whatever we're gonna go do. And then Thursday I have to do there's an event in town that we're doing. So it's a whole thing. But the thankful part is because I've got tomorrow and Tuesday off and I have no idea what's going on. My second boss, yeah, you didn't know that I got fired. And then I got rehired. It was a very confusing week. And so I'm like, I'm just exhausted. I've been working doubles the last 3 weeks because my boss had to travel all over the country. And on top of that, my chair broke. I don't know if you noticed, I'm not in the same chair I'm normally in. You can't even see it. It's some little IKEA chair that my boss let me take from the restaurant because my other one leans forward. So when I sit, my fat ass is sliding and it's on my knees because I'm not getting any support. So I got rehired, Esteban, but she hasn't said anything. I know she was signing some business deals for a client. So I don't know. We got to figure it out. So you didn't have your normal nap after church?
No. Sleep has been getting a little bit better, so I'm not as tired. Because usually I do take a nap after church, but I did not have that today. Which, today wasn't a bad day, and I got a decent amount of sleep. So, the thing is now I gotta get up there to that baby. I have time, but I have to get up there to her eventually because me and my husband got into a fight today. It wasn't. See, it's gotten like our fights used to be so bad, mainly on my part, and then like recently, I've just kind of let go of being so angry.
That's good though.
So they're not as loud and horrible as they usually are. So we get upset with each other, but nowhere near on the level that we did. And I'm trying to get comfortable. And so The last I've been telling him, because how our schedule usually goes is I'm with the baby all day, Monday through Friday, and then he gets home and I let him do his he, like, takes over this room. I let him do his thing, play his games, do whatever he wants on the computer, and then all he has to do is watch the baby while I cook. That's generally all I really ask, maybe a diaper change here or there, but generally that's all he has to do is watch the baby while I cook, so if she needs anything, I don't have to stop, 'cause sometimes I can't really stop, and then I'll have to wash my hands, and it's just a whole mess. So, outside of that, he does whatever he wants Monday through Friday. Um, he watches her on Wednesdays when I go out to do my own thing now that I'm back in D&D, and then on the Mondays that are bingo, it's once a month, he watches her while I'm at bingo for 2 hours. So, he only has her for a few hours a week, um, mainly for bingo nights,
Right.
and or not bingo nights, D&D nights. But when Saturday comes around, it's supposed to be date day, as we call it. He has 2 girls he has to take out on a date. So or I take or whatever, but we do something. And so I've told him, like, "You only give me a few hours during the week that's baby free, and half of it I'm spent driving. It's 4 hours on a weekday that you give me with the baby. Like, Saturdays, you need to help out a lot more with the baby. I shouldn't have to ask you 5 or 6 times to stay off your phone, stay off playing your game, because the game that he plays, it's online, and he can't pause it and walk
Right.
away." So, he comes back and it's like, "Well, you play video games all day." I'm like, "Yes, but I play things that I can get up and walk away from, and it won't ruin my
Not just that,
game."
you stream them so that way you can try to make money off of it.
Mhm. And so, like, when I play games, I do things like Played Up, which I can pause and walk away from, or I do like Disney Dreamlight Valley, different things that I can just pause and walk away from and it won't ruin the game, or ruin somebody else's
Right.
fun. So I don't play like online with a whole bunch of other people. So I was like, that's not the same thing. Saturdays, and then I even changed it up. I was like, I know you work. Saturdays, you're supposed to be spending it with the family. You spend half it in the office. It's like, if you want to play your game or you have stuff to do, why don't you bring your computer up to the living room? So then, at the very least, you can spend some time with us and we can have some conversations, do something. And if I need help with the baby, I can tell you. Like, I even gave him an out to let him still play the games. Like, you have to take her a bit more on Saturdays and let me have more of a break. It's not fair that I have her every day and you don't have her as much, which you work, and I get that. But Saturdays, you have no excuse, especially when on Sundays, I let him have the whole day to do whatever he wants. If he wants to leave, go hang out with his friends, whatever. Sunday is his day to do whatever he wants before he goes back to work the next day. If you don't help out more on Saturdays and start spending more time with us, I'm going to start taking parts of your Sundays away. It's just how it's going to go. So we kind of got into a little bit of a fight about that. Just like the second time I've told you.
Well, I mean, because that's the thing is like, even if you don't have kids, so I love my husband. My mother-in-law who was here can even tell you my husband has a really bad habit of turning off his brain completely once he gets home, regardless of the difficulty of his work. So before, when we lived in Rhode Island, he used to work at a market. And I did all the physical labor and heavy jobs. I always worked more hours and I usually made more money. He did the opposite, but he'd always tell me his job was harder than mine because it was a mental job because he worked for the customer service thing and he helped with returns and exchanges and stuff. Whereas I did that plus more when I worked at Walmart because I was working the toy department, the cell phone department, the photo department. I helped out with the jewelry department. I helped out with the sports department. I helped out with paint, with keys, lawn and garden, everything. And I was very physically fit then. And I would usually, sometimes I would work double shifts. So I would get in at 7 a.m. I would get out at 3, and then I might go home for an hour or two and then come back and work an overnight shift. Like I did whatever they asked. I'm still kind of like that. And he would sit there and go, well, I need to decompress. And so he would get on his computer and then he'd never get off. And so it would get really annoying because I like even here, same idea. Um, no matter what work I did, it was always his was harder and his was more stressful and this, that, and the other. And I tell him, like earlier, Peachy was saying how her parents don't decorate for holidays because you guys take it down again. My husband would get very pissy about that stuff. He'd be like, I don't, and he would try to make it miserable so I wouldn't want to decorate. He figured if he would dig in his heels enough, I wouldn't do it. And then finally, when I would get fed up and I go do it myself, I was about to get up and help. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I kept telling him, like, eventually, I'm not going to care if you're involved. So it's up to you. If we have kids, family, nieces and nephews, whatever, I just won't involve you. And he eventually learned that I don't care how begrudging it is, you're going to join in. So that's why, like earlier with my mother-in-law, I was like, did he call you? You are going to participate in your family who want to come and see us and hang out with us and all that stuff. If you want me to be the good little wife that cleans up, meal preps for you, cooks your dinners, hands all the heavy lifting, which the heavy lifting in my house is all like every bill. My husband cannot handle making decisions. Like a lot of folks don't realize how much I do. I really have 4 jobs in a lot of ways because except for like 2 bills, 3 bills, I handle everything. I plan the meals, I plan the trips, I plan the events, I train the animals, I plan the shopping, I do the, needs and don't need list. I do the cleaning and then I drag him along for the ride. Because my husband has a hard time handling these things. And so when I get mad at him, just like you were saying, no, I streamlined everything to make it easier on him and he still told me it was too hard. So eventually I just put my foot down. Cause like we no longer use loose detergent. Why? Because he told me the measuring was annoying and he'd have a hard time measuring it right. So he just didn't do it at all and he would leave it to me. No. I'll get the pods. You'll do it that way. He told me getting out the mop and bucket was too much. Fine. So I went and got a Swiffer's and he decided to get a Bona. Like things like that. I try to streamline everything. So that way it's you barely got to think about it. And he's finally getting into the habit of realizing that you got to help. I get it. Anxiety sucks. I get it. Your job is hard. But there's one thing I tell my husband all the time, and he doesn't like it because he sees it as me dismissing his pain. Because he's, we're getting older. And he's like, you think I'm lying. You think I'm not in pain. I never said that. I acknowledge you're tired. I acknowledge you're in pain, but it's just the two of us. So whether you like it or not, shit has to get done. When I was sick, I showed him, I was like, look how this house looks. Because I was out of commission for a week. I said, is that how it's supposed to operate? Because I couldn't move. I physically couldn't move that week. And so that's the thing. That is what I tell him. And I assume you agree. Whether you like it or not, these things have to happen for the family to function. Whether it is a date day or a family day, or it's just chores and things needed to be done. Your comfort level doesn't matter at that point. If you put it off, it's never going to get done. Who's going to run the house then? Who's going to take care of those things? And then like with him, what if the baby stops reaching for him, Stuff like that. Like you'd be upset. You'd be upset if the baby didn't want your attention or doesn't want daddy. Okay. You didn't take part when mom asked you to. You didn't become something that she relied on for fun. Now you're upset about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the thing is, too, is like with how young she is, it's like routine. It doesn't necessarily have to fall into a timeline, which she hates. Like, this needs to happen by this time. I'm like, I would love for this to happen specifically at this time, but I can't guarantee. Like one of the things is she goes to bed at 8. All right. I would love for her to be in bed and going to bed at 8 o'clock and falling asleep. That would be amazing. Here's the thing though, it's not always going to work out that way because it has to do with when she takes her naps. What time did she wake up from her last nap? Is she hungry yet? If she's not hungry, she's going to stay awake until she has her last meal. Sometimes she doesn't have her last meal until 8 o'clock. Is it a bath day? It all depends. What time did we wake up? So it mainly depends on when her nap falls, but I try to keep the routine going of she does this in this order as much as we can. Obviously, sometimes it's going to get a little mixed up, but I try to get it back on track. Now, that's how it has to go. And doesn't seem to realize, like, I'm not always going to be able to get her to go to bed at 8 o'clock. So I got onto his case really bad today. I was like, I'm sick of it. I told you the same thing last week. I even gave you an out for you to play your game and still keep up with us on a Saturday. And then he'll offer to take her and then want to do something downstairs. So he'll set her on the couch in her bobby or something. And then I'll get busy doing something or I'll be doing my own thing and she'll start crying. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Because now you've set her right back by me after offering to take her and she's
Because she
crying.
hears
And I'm
mom.
supposed to sit here, or excuse me, I'm supposed to sit here and not do anything? Just let her cry and she's right there? It's like, no, that's not how this is going to work. You're going to help me out more on Saturdays. I'm asking you for one day. You're going to help me out on Saturdays. I already let you do the bare minimum. So it's not gonna function like that
Exactly.
anymore. You're gonna help me out on Saturdays. If you have to take her all day Saturday so I could have time to myself, that's what you're going to do. Sundays, I don't make you do anything. And then as far as chores around the house goes, he's responsible for outside. He does the bills because I don't know what all the bills are. He is in charge of the kitchen and not completely. He usually just does the dishes and that's
Oh,
it.
see, chores, I've made Matt take over chores. Like, because I physically could not for a long time. So I didn't include that because that I'm talking like mental heavy lifting. That
Yeah,
stuff. Oh no, I forced him. I was like, I can't, dude.
yeah. And then he is in charge. He does vacuuming. I've taken over basically everything else while taking care of the baby. And some days stuff gets pushed back, some days it doesn't, but I try to make sure the house is decently clean and everything. But my focus throughout the day is on the baby. When he gets home, he wants dinner to start cooking around 5 so he can eat by 6. Okay, you want to put that stipulation? Then at 5 o'clock, when you get
Take
home,
the baby.
you, you take the baby and I'll get to cooking. And once dinner is done, I'll take her back, I'll eat, I'll feed her, and we'll start the bed process. That's fine with me. But if you're going to put in stipulations, I'm going to put in some of my own to make things work that way. It's not always going to be exactly the way that you want it. It just doesn't happen. So he'll like try to get out of doing stuff in the kitchen. I'm like, no, 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 no. You told me that you do stuff outside in the garden and outside, and so you don't like bringing your boots onto the carpet. Fine. Kitchen has no carpet. That's the door that we use. The first room you enter when you come in the house is the kitchen. You don't have to take off your shoes in the kitchen. Kitchen is your job. How much of the kitchen you do
It's up to you.
is up to you. I will clean the counters. If all you do is the dishes, and that's all you do is the dishes, you just rinse them off, you put them in the dishwasher, and you start it, and then you put them away. And that's usually all he does. Is he takes care of the dishes. I wipe everything else down. That's fine.
But I don't think it's very reasonable at all. That if he wants dinner at a certain time, then you have to help out at a certain time. Like that, like we thankfully don't have the animal. Like tonight is a perfect example. We don't have kids, we do have the animals. And so I have them on a routine as well, which helps me out so much because when my dogs are not on a routine, specifically Orion, he's a hellion. He's ridiculous. He gets disobedient, he gets overexcited. And so tonight we got home from dad's and one of the chores that Matt had to take over is it is trash night. Sundays are trash. So you were going to get all the trash together. You're going to do the cat boxes. You're going to get all the trash. You're going to drag it down. And so in exchange, he says to me, hey, can you let the dogs out? Because on nighttime is normally when he handles the animals. The only 2 days that he handles the animals feeding in the morning is on his days off. Because the rest of the week I'm doing it. And so like it's an unspoken rule that on the days that he has off, he gets up, he takes care of all the animals. And then at night, he does it almost all the time. And in exchange, I usually take care of a lot of other stuff. Like we share chores. But again, that was because it came to a point where I was like, bro, we have to. I can't do it all. And whatchamacallit, tonight he said to me, hey, since I had to get all the trash together and we got home a little late, can you at least let the dogs out? And so that way I can get started on this, that, and the other. And so yeah, that's completely reasonable. And that's my thing. It's a compromise. So I guess I don't understand why that wouldn't be a reasonable compromise when it's not a dog, it's your baby. I don't know. It doesn't make any I get what you're saying. It just doesn't make any sense why he wouldn't see it as a reasonable compromise.
And then he pulls that same thing too, where he's like, I do this, I do that, I get busy, I'm in pain, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. And then I'm just like, every time he like tries to make it seem like he has it harder, I'm just all like, okay, we're not making this a competition. You might do physically taxing work and you might think it's so easy because he'll say things like, I wish my job included, because I've told him, like, being a mom is a full time job. I don't get a break. It's 24/7. You never stop being a parent. Once you have a baby, you don't stop being a parent. He's like, I wish my job let me play video games all day. I'm like, I play video games when I can. Half the time when I play a video game, I'll start a game, I'll get like 20 or 30 minutes in, and then she'll need
Right.
something. And then I get another 5 minutes, and then she'll need something. And then maybe it's like 3 or 4 hours that I leave the game running until I get back to it. Like, it depends on where it falls in our routine. If she's taking a nap, I'm playing a game. If she's content by herself, I'll play a game. And while I'm playing a game, she's sitting right next to me so I can actually interact with her too and turn away from the game. So it's a little bit different. And we're not going to compare it because I'm lifting her up and down, I'm changing diapers, I'm making sure that her routine is going the way it does. And I'm doing that 24/7. And then at night, when I let you sleep and she wakes up in the middle of the night hungry, I take care of that. So I lose out on sleep. But you complain that we don't get up early enough, but I'm losing out on sleep, so we sleep longer. I don't care about your schedule. I'm not going to adhere to what you want because you're not here every day to see what goes on.
And again,
So I'm not doing
right.
that.
And again, like here's a big thing. When you're telling me all that stuff, like all things like, oh, it's I wish my job did this. Okay. Your job doesn't include cleaning the entire house, taking care of an infant, taking care of the animals in the house, meal planning, doing this, that, and the other. Like I was saying to him, like, do you want me to be a stay-at-home wife or not? If you don't like it, you needed to let me know what 14 months ago, like like you should have let me know then. And that's the thing, like that's like you walk home, sir, your house is clean, your food is cooked, your baby is taken care of and clean. Like this is the duties you placed upon me. Your job may be heavy and labor intensive, and that's what I said to my husband. I'm like, I do a lot like that, like the same exact issues that you have, not with a child, obviously. But whenever my husband would try to say, you don't do what I do, or you haven't gone through what I've gone through at work, yes, I have. And when I did the labor job, you told me it wasn't as difficult, that it wasn't as hard because all I had to do was heavy lifting. I'm like, except I did financing, I was doing cell phone changes, I was doing photo editing, I was doing printing, I was helping at several different areas in the store, as well as doing resets and things like that. But I was like, you told me your job was far more difficult because it was brain taxing. I said, now I do credit pulling. I do find this is when I was doing mattresses. I was like, I do all this. And you're telling me because I sit and I'm allowed to have downtime between customers that my job is not as hard as yours. And see, he had nothing to, he's like, it's not the same thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so I don't know what it is about guys when they have this dichotomy between their wives, but it's not a competition. What we're trying to say, at least in my mind, what I'm trying to say is I understand that you're in pain. I understand that you may have had a tough day. You want an hour nap, which is usually like if I let my husband, he would come home and have a 4-hour nap, wake up to have dinner, and then go right back to sleep for the rest of the night. He would be thrilled. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You want a nap, you get an hour. Because I'm not going to throw off your rhythm by doing that. Because if he has too long of a nap and he has it too late in the day, then my husband's up till 11:30 scrolling on his phone, which then makes him late for work the next morning, which screws with our paycheck. I'm like, no, it's not going to work that way. Because he gets very mad at me when I don't let him. Well, I've had a long day. Well, I'm in pain. Sir, I have my left ankle has nerve damage in it and muscle damage from when I nearly broke it. I have arthritis in both knees. I have that extra weight gain that I'm still trying to get rid of. I have carpal tunnel in this wrist. And I have, you want to throw in the neurodivergence, I've got ADHD, OCD, and I have anxiety. I was like, you still expect me to be on my game and run this shit? I said, so, Matt absolutely doom scrolls. He will sit there on his phone for hours. If he won't even remember what he looked at, he will literally just not TikTok, but he won't remember half the videos he's watching. He's just hooked into the internet. And so it's like, that's the stuff where I agree. The only thing that's missing in my life is the responsibility of the baby. But it's crazy how it's the same argument with or without the child. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and see, my thing too is like I'm not gonna say whether or not whose job is more physically taxing, right? 'Cause I have bad days, he has bad days. It's not you have no way to measure who has the more physically tasking or the more tiring job. There's no way to measure it. It's not a competition. And I feel like if I give you a whole day where you can choose to do whatever you want and the house runs smoothly, if you want to go out when you come home and go like to your favorite bar or whatever, or you don't even want to show up and you just want to go to your favorite bar after work and you let me know, I'm usually cool with
Right.
it. If you give me some sort of heads up of what you're doing, I'm cool with it. Sundays, I'll let you do whatever you want. We go to church. When we get back from church, you're just like, hey, I want to go to the game store. And I'm probably going to be there. It's like 5 or 6 o'clock. Fine. It's Sunday. It's a day I know that they meet up. It's a day I know that you might want to go. Sundays, you can do whatever you want. It's not fair that I give you a good portion of your time off of work and then I give you Sunday and you don't even give me most of Saturday. And if you do, I have to ask. No, it's not going to be like that anymore. It's not because I give you a whole day, you give me most of a whole day. You don't stop being a parent. I understand the need of having a whole day where you don't have to do anything. I give you Sunday, you give me Saturday, especially since I give you a whole bunch of other time throughout the week to wind down and relax. What you choose to do with that time is your business. If you're paying bills or handling stuff, that's not my problem. That's what you plan to do. I'm still giving you baby free on Sunday to do whatever you want. If you do extra stuff, that's on you. But the reason why I'm upset is because he likes to do a little throw it in your face type thing.
Really?
So the whole thing with baby being in bed at 8 o'clock, right? So I got mad at him and I was just all like, I'm going out. Like, I'm going out. And the plan was me to tell him I'm going out, and then I was going to sit and play video games and ignore him. He had the baby, he had to do all of the Sunday stuff. Sunday's bath day for her. He had to feed her and put her to bed. I said, I'm going out. When he came upstairs and saw me, he said, where are you going? I said, right here. I'm going out. I'm not here. Don't bother me. I'm ignoring you. Like, I'm not here. Don't bother me.
It's like
So
I'm
he
out.
finally, yes. So he finally got the hint that I wasn't going to speak to him. The only time I even spoke to him, he was asking about something for the baby, and I just pointed to it and didn't say a word to him. And so he threw it in my face, basically, that he got her to bed at 8 o'clock. But I was in the living room to see the entire process of him getting her ready for bed. So recently, I've been able to get her to sleep to 5 o'clock in the morning. And I do that because when it's dinner time for her, basically, she gets baby food, and then she eats all of her baby cereal, and then she finishes it off with milk, and then she goes to bed. And that usually keeps her full longer than like the 2 to 3 hours normally does.
Enough
She'll sleep
sugar,
till
enough
like 5 in the
protein,
morning.
all that jazz.
hmm So that's how I normally do it. And her dinner time could take like 30 minutes to an hour. But usually she's ready to go to bed after. Sometimes she falls asleep while she eats. Now, he got her to bed at 8 o'clock because what he did was made her a bottle, and then he made her a cereal bottle, and she did not finish the cereal bowl. He didn't even give her any of her baby food. So he skipped so many steps and did them out of order that I have and then he said that I have to take care of the baby when she wakes up, which is normally how I do it anyway. But you're going to throw it in my face that you got her to bed at 8 o'clock. But I told him this too. But I guarantee she's going to wake up early tonight. And he was like, he said something or another. I was like, no, 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 no. You did good. I'm not going to deny you that because you don't normally put her to sleep. But you skipped through her routine and I saw you do it. So I highly doubt she's going to sleep the way she normally does when I do it. And that's fine. But I'm probably going to have to wake her up and start all over again when it comes time. And I'm going to lose out on sleep because instead of me getting extra sleep because she's going to be asleep until 5 o'clock in the morning,
she's going to wake up at 3 and need this, that, and the other. And agree.
yes.
Like, so again, part of why, because Matt and I never get a full day off, either of us. I don't get any day off ever. So, like, if I go to work on a day that Matt has off, he gets to putz around, do whatever the hell he wants all day long. So normally chores don't get done. Lately, I will say, because we've had quite a few blowouts, um, we had a revelation, and as of late, since that revelation, he has been, because Esteban's was saying in the comments, like, if in Matt's perfect world, he would sleep, scroll social media, and play video games all day long. And in between, he might take a poop and eat. But mostly sleep and video games and internet. That's what he does. And so we never have Nova, I swear to God. Okay. We never have like a solid day off. I'm always doing something. So like, as you know, Sunday used to kind of some days be my day off. I stream now at night on Sundays as well. And if I'm off like today earlier, what did I do? I did research for the second Lizzo video and I did recordings for the water talk. Like I try to fill all my time. Tomorrow I'm editing, I have a meeting, and then I stream. And so I remind my husband this. I'm like, I never have a day off. And so as of late, I give him a honey-do list. And usually it's not that bad. But what I would always get in the past was, oh, I never got to it. Oh, I tried, I didn't have the time. And then I'll check the camera and he was sleeping for 8 hours. Or he was on the phone. I'm like, oh, so you tried? You tried. So when did you try? When Orion was laying on you or when Zora was laying on you? Did you try when you were playing Persona or did you try when you were napping? Which was it? And so, and I would be gone for sometimes 9 hours. And what I'd ask is very simple. Hey, clean the cat water dishes. That takes a half hour. Or sweep my floors or vacuum the cat room. Nothing major. And so those are things that infuriate me. And when it comes to the dogs, that's a fight that we had a really big argument about. Really big one. Because Orion is a very difficult dog. And my husband's anxiety would go up with him because Orion doesn't like to listen. You have to be very forceful with him. You have to like use a deeper voice and you've got to do the exact same thing every time. If you don't, he will find a way to screw it over. And so for a solid amount of time, no matter what I did, Orion wasn't listening. He would listen sometimes, but he would half listen. And he kept doing this shit like running ahead of a queue or doing something wrong. And then I started watching my husband. He would do the hand signals wrong. He would, like, instead of saying sit and letting him sit, he would go sit, sit, sit. And he would get higher pitched. And with dogs, if you teach them it's not sit, do the command, it's sit, 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 then the dog's not going to sit till the third sit. And so I had to explain this, and my husband would get so mad at me. But then I show him because after I started correcting him and I started trying to help him, guess what would happen? He would watch me with the animals, and I'd get him to listen the first time. And I'd be like, don't you wonder why that is? Are you noticing? He's listening. He'd be like, well, it's not the same thing. And it's the same thing when it comes to bills. He gets very mad. And that's part of why he doesn't like calling the bills. Because I can convince bill collectors to give us a break. I'll be like, I'll get on the phone. I'll be like, listen, these are the series of events that happened. This is exactly how it went down. And we are in a predicament. And all I need is A, B, and C time. And, I embellish a little. He's like, well, they never do it for me. I'm like, yeah, because all you do is you call and say, we can't pay right now. And when they ask what you can do, you go, nothing. Now, which do you think a bill collector or even just a regular monthly bill that we have is going to listen to more? The one where you give a valid reason and a time frame and try to cooperate and make some kind of deal, or the one where you go, there's nothing I can do. And he gets mad at me. He's like, well, you think I'm lying. You think that I don't try. I'm like, well, you don't try. That's first of all. You get annoyed when they ask you for an explanation, and all you do instead is say, well, I can't do it. I said, and then I got to get on and call them back, prove you wrong. And then you don't even say thank you. But it's just like, so consistency and listening when I tell him what's going to work, that's a big bone of contention. And clearly you have the same issue in your house.
Yeah, and so I just don't know, like, oh, my favorite thing I've ever heard him say is like, he's like, you wanted to be a mother. Lots of fathers don't change their own baby's diapers. Like, when?
Right?
What time frame are you
We talking about the 1960s? Are we talking about today?
Because that's no, that's not going to be us. I don't know what you're modeling that off of. You're going to put forth some effort. Now, if you don't want to play completely by my rules when it comes to her, which I find a little off-putting because I'm supposed to be in charge of the house and taking care of the baby, but if you don't want to play completely by my rules when it comes to her, and you're the one taking care of her, fine. She's your child too.
Right.
Fine by me. But don't come asking me for any sort of help when I explain to you how things go. They don't work. Because you know how many times I get calls from you, she's crying and she won't stop. She's screaming and she won't stop. Don't call me. If you don't want to do it the way that I do it, and I'm trying to help you learn it, I'm not going to be her mother. You don't have to do this every time, but you at least have to know how to do it. So if we have issues like I'm gone on Wednesdays, I'm usually gone till like 9 o'clock, 9:30 is when I get
Right.
home. She should be in bed by then. I don't want to come home to a screaming child because you didn't know how to put her to bed.
Well, my thing is, he
or
can't
you
even
don't
use
know
that
what's wrong
against
with
you.
her.
Like, you want to be a mother, okay, and you want to be a father. What do you think that entails? Like, what do you think that? Because that's the only thing that I wouldn't understand. Like, that is where I'm very forceful, and maybe I'm wrong for it, but I'm very forceful about that stuff. I'm like, listen, you enjoyed the making. If this kid comes out, you're gonna enjoy the rest of it too. Like, I've already warned my husband because, like, so we used to babysit our nieces and nephews fairly often, and he never wanted to baby. He never wanted to change their diapers. He would do almost everything else, but he would never change his diapers. I finally forced him to. I was like, you don't get a choice. I was like, what if I've got to leave you alone with the kids? I was like, these aren't our kids. We can't be getting diaper rashes on them. We can't be doing that kind of shit. You can't do it to your own either. But I'm just saying, like, these are someone else's children. I need to make sure that you can take care of them if need be. He's like, well, it's not right. It's not right for me to change their diaper. I was like, I don't give a fuck what squeamish you have. I don't give a fuck if you don't want to look at little itty bitties bitties. You're gonna do it. Like, that's the long and short of it. And now with this new niece or nephew coming, oh, you bet your ass. If Uncle Matt and Auntie Cassie are babysitting, Uncle Matt's gonna change a diaper. Cause this is like true like blood relation family now. Which means this kid's gonna be around all the time. It's not like with my friends where they could come around when I choose to. This is a weekly and probably more now once the kid is born, where we're gonna see this child. Oh yeah, you go, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and so like the whole skipping or going too fast and doing things, he can't do it. I can't tell you how many times. So you know how a diaper has little tabs in the front? You're supposed to put them on the sides. That's basically where the little Velcro goes. Can't tell you how many times I've seen those tabs sticking out of her diaper in like weird angles. I'm just like, I get huffy and I like start changing her diaper again. He's like, what? I'm like, you have to take your time to do this. Like, I understand that I do it fast because I know the exact movements. You can't rush through it if you're not going to do it
Because they'll
right.
come apart.
Get used to it first. Get used to it first. And then like it's not hard to do it fast. I take the little tab, I put it where it needs to be on her body, and then I velcro it. Like if it's not matching up right, then diaper's not sitting right. Adjust how high or low it is and then start again.
They're not hard to put on, but if you put them on too quickly, those Velcros will pop right off.
And then at one point he thought like we had just gotten these diapers, like we've had them like maybe 2 weeks because we get the big boxes. And he's like, I think she's already growing out of them. And I was like, no, she's not already growing out of them. It's like they're not. It's like they seem a little tight. It's like no, you're putting them on wrong. They're not too tight if the velcros can touch each other when we put them on her. She still has time to grow through these.
Exactly. Like you got to do it right. Like, and the thing is, in my person, it was Twitch. That's what I'm missing is my Twitch. Sorry, I'm having a moment, but like, if you plan it right and you're smart about it, you can like perfect a way to put on a diaper. Like, so I hate the idea of pee flying up at me, right? So I quickly learned because half my nieces and nephews are boys. So I would take the little butt wipes, I fold it in a square, put it right over the dinghy. Okay, you ain't peeing on me now. And if you are, I'm gonna see it coming a mile away. Then I keep the old diaper down. You put the legs together, wipe all the mess, and then you pull the old one out, put the new one in, pop it over, pull out the little wipey, and then we just zip. Like it's easy. And like you said, once you get used to it, yeah, you can go fast. I just don't understand why he wants to rush it to that extent. I'm going to my page because there's a bot on the thing.
I'm just like, it's not how this works. Like, you have no children in your family that you've ever taken care of. Like, there's two. With our baby, there's three now. There's three kids, and one of them is 13. Like, she's not going to be a kid much longer.
And then you're going to be really sad.
I'm just like, You have to take the time to learn these things. We're by ourselves. Oh, my favorite thing was like postpartum was hell for me. And then like things will happen like cuz I'm breastfeeding, I get hungry and she'll be crying and I'm trying to eat and then she starts crying and then I'm just like, "Okay, I need to take care of her and figure out what's going on." And I get so frustrated because I'm like, "I want to eat, but I need to figure out what's wrong with her." And he'll sit there on his phone cuz we eat together. He'll sit there on his phone and he won't like he knows it's dinner time and he won't
Try to help you.
at all. And I like try to stare him down and he'll finally like see or I'll be crying and he'll be like, "Okay, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" It's like, "I'm trying to eat." You see me being like you see that she's crying, I'm trying to figure her out and I'm trying to eat and you're sitting on your phone.
That would definitely deeply infuriate me. Like that's something where, sir, we're right in front of each other. But that I will say, when it comes to eating, I think it's because he got, around my Italian family for the last almost 20 years. That he takes great notice in. So it's the only thing I will never be able to complain about. Matt makes sure that I have a meal because often I would skip meals. And so that's the one thing I can't say I can relate to. However, I can relate to the frustration of you see me sitting right here struggling and your phone is on and you're neck deep in your phone. Like your wife and child are right here. The family you have are right here. And that was something I would get very frustrated about just in general if there was something that I needed help with. Like whatever it might be. Like I'd be sitting there and the
Yeah,
animals would be roughhousing or something like that. And then he would just be like, I'd be like, Matthew, what? And I swear to God, I say it so much. I'm like, what do you mean what? Like
yeah, and then so like that like pisses me off. And I hate phones at the dinner table. I am one of those people. I hate phones at the dinner table. I can understand there's a reasonable expectation and a reasonable amount of usage of phones at the dinner table. If you want to check your notifications, if someone important has texted you and you need to text back, stuff like that. Quick swipe up, swipe down, see what they are. If you need to reply to it, then phone goes
right.
down. Okay? There is a reasonable amount of use of a phone. If we're watching a movie together, stay off your phone. If we're eating dinner, stay off your phone. His dad's older now, Rachel, so like his family's all older. So I don't mind him checking his phone. But it's check your phone, not be on your phone. Because I'm the same way. Like, I'll put my phone on do not disturb for church, stick it in my purse, and it won't come out for hours because I'm just all like, I kind of forget it's there.
I turn off the volume on my phone whenever I go to dad's. And that's the thing. Like at one point, I will say this. Me, dad, my husband, my sister-in-law, we all get our phones and share memes. Like live. We'll be like, oh my God, dad, look at his cat. And like we'll sit there and do that.
That's different though, because you're interacting with each other. It's
Right.
not.
And I can't stand that. And see, my husband, again, he had a really bad habit of no matter where we were, his anxiety would get so bad, he would not interact with anyone, his own family, my family. And so like people would sit there and be like, does Matt even want to be here? And I'm like, probably not. But like on top of it, I had to force him. I was like, and so like in the last 2 years, he'll be like, did you see? Did you see? Yes, honey, I saw. And even on his own, he had to download an app that rewards him for not being on the phone very often. Like it gives him little like things. So I think he's broken. He so far has cut down his usage by 7 hours a week. And he actually started implementing that when he and I, because so again, I see that. I don't know if you got to wait as long as I had to. Because again, we're going to be married 11 years in October. And we just passed 17 years together. And he's finally at the point where he is like, he has decided we're going to watch anime together. And he tries very hard to find anime for us to watch. And when we're watching it, put your phone down. We're going to watch it together. We're going to enjoy it. And I was like, that took a long time. But I'm happy it's happening now. And it's there. So I don't think it's unreasonable. I know you guys are younger than me, but you're not that much younger than me. I don't think it's unreasonable to say to your husband, when you're here, your child is right in front of you and awake, and your wife is right in front of you and awake. We're all enjoying a meal. You shouldn't be on your phone at all. I don't care how long of a day you've had. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care unless we are actively in a fight and we're on our phones to prevent us from getting into a fist fight. There's no reason. Look at me. You married me because you want to be around me all the time. So be around me all the time. Like, and see, that's the shit. If anyone wants to get a peep into how I talk to my husband, this is how I talk to. If I really, really like you, this is how I talk to you. Like, I lay it out very logically and straight. And I like this. Yes, this is very true, Rachel. It was all his idea. I give him complete credit for it. So, like I said, it used to be much worse. Much worse. It was a lot of me feeling like I was dragging Starman into enjoying things, including things to do with me. And I was like, bro, what was the point in even marrying me then if you're not going to enjoy it?
Yeah. And one of my like biggest pet peeves is like it's kind of understandable, but it's not. So like we'll go out shopping somewhere and he hates shopping and I'm a woman, so I like looking at things and taking longer than I probably need to, which is fine. So like for example, we'll go if we go to a mall, it's a lot more understandable. When you go to a mall, it's a small store, you can usually see where everyone is at. If I take too long in the store, he'll leave and wait outside. Fine, I know where to find you. I hate when we go places like Walmart, Target, local grocery store, and I'll be looking at something and I turn around and he's gone. I hate that. It drives me up a fucking
It drives
wall.
me
I'll
crazy.
be all like, "Look here. I'm going to tell you this one more time. Don't leave me behind. If you want to walk off somewhere and look at something, and I'm looking at something, don't just walk off. Hey, I'm going to go do this. Hey, I'm going to go
Go
do
that
that.
aisle, whatever.
Let me know where you're going."
I agree. And see, it's like, again, going, like, I thankfully, again, it's one of the few things that he'll get frustrated if we can't spend any money whatsoever. He likes going shopping if we have the money for it. Oh, Matt enjoys the hell out of it. When we have no money, he gets frustrated because then he's like, I don't like window shopping. I want to buy. And I'm like, no, this is making sure that when we do buy, we buy what we want. But it's like, with that, I say to him, like, you're acting like you don't enjoy being like, no, I don't want to do it if I'm not with you. Well, okay, but you're with me and you're still not enjoying it. And I would absolutely, like you said, I would be absolutely frustrated if I turn around and you're just fucking gone. Like, you're just gonna ditch me in the middle of the store? Why? You need to lean over and say to me, hey babe, like when we go into Lush, I love Lush. Oh, I love Lush. But Matt can't handle it for a long time. So he'll try, he'll come in, and once his head starts getting hurt, he's like, I can't handle it anymore. I need to leave. And I'll fake and I'll be like, oh, and, he'll leave and then I'll come out and I'll be happy. Usually I can spend a little more because he's not there to stop me. So, huzzah. But it's that right there. Yeah, that's 100%. I cannot even reason that because you're by yourself with your child and you're less guarded because you think your husband right there. And then you turn around and it ain't your husband, it's some Bubba Joe. Like, yeah, that would bother me a lot. That one, oh, you're 100%. There is no in between. He's wrong for that. 100%. I don't know how often he
Yeah, and
does it, but
it's like constantly like I learn the things that make him tick or the things that make things run smoother, and then I'll try to incorporate that. And then it's the fucking back the change of plans pisses me off, or how forgetful he'll be, and he'll admit that he's forgetful, and then won't admit that he's forgotten something. I shit you not. So back when I was still pregnant, it was either for Christmas or for my birthday. I forget which one. I said that I wanted a spa day. Like I wanted to go to the spa, get facials, just do a spa
Right.
package, just whatever. And so he took the initiative because he said he would do that for whichever gift it was. And we'll just say my birthday. And he called a few places and they wouldn't take me because I was pregnant. So he was like, okay, well, after you have the baby, then yada, yada, yada. So months go by, and then I wait for like my 6-week appointment. In between that, we got billed more from the OB because of some potential complications. Because they did a whole bunch of like they started doing ultrasounds every week, so we got billed a bit more by the OB, so money got tight or whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I can wait for money to build back up. He's in charge of the money. He sets the budget. It's fine. I can wait for money to build back up. I waited this long for my gift. I can wait a little bit longer. So then I think I brought this up just like this week. I was like, so when do I get my spa day? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you promised me a spa day for either Christmas or my birthday. We waited, and then money got tight, and then I waited again. I want my spa day. And he was like, I don't remember ever saying. Boy.
Ciao. Ciao. Listen, Rachel, aren't you the one who tells me you're perpetually single? Once you get a man, then yes. Now you have a man and he's not. Time to beat him. No, I will. See, I can understand forgetting, but see, that's why this is where I'm a bitch, because my husband's a forgetful man. So you know what I do? I make sure that right after he agrees to something, I text him. And then I send it on Facebook Messenger because you can search it. I'll be like, really? Because see that? See that text? Look when it is. I sent that to you. Now look, did you say anything denying it afterwards? No. Because you agreed to it.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what I would do, because then circumvents the whole fight. Because then he can't say, I didn't say that. And because I don't like being told. So I was saying, right? People call me a know-it-all. Oh, Cassie never thinks she's wrong. Nay. I get plenty of shit wrong. However, if I'm wrong, I don't open my mouth. But if I'm right, and so I always make sure if I am being bold as brass and I'm saying something, it's because I know I'm right. And my husband has learned that lesson. And yeah. So that's why I take a lot of precautions to prevent exactly that scenario, because I don't deny that it's very infuriating. I don't deny that it's happened. However, always create a contingency plan so he can't fight you. Because once you take the wind out of his sails, the fight is over. And then it's just all right, babe, I was wrong. Or it could even come back on you. It could be like, wow, okay, so that's what it was. I forgot what it actually was. But I still want what's written here. Whatever. But that's what I would suggest. Because then
My favorite. We'll get into an argument,
Yeah.
right? And I'll like, even if like I'm being totally batshit crazy and I'm explaining to him how I feel, always finds a way to change the subject to make it seem like he's not in the wrong. I fucking hate that. He does that shit all the fucking time. And it's like I'm just all like, okay, I'll be saying about something like how I feel or something or another, and then he'll change the subject. And he'll be like, well, this and that. That has nothing to do with what I just said. And he'll be like, yes, it does this. No, that is not that has nothing to do with what I just said. This is what I said. This is what you're trying to say. I can see where you're correlating
But
them,
it's not the same.
but that same thing. That's nothing. One fight we got into, okay? So he went and he's done this with his job too. He went to do a interview and we were leaving. It was the day we were leaving to go visit his family. And so he said to be ready to go at like 10 or something like that, or be packed up at 10. Usually, if someone tells you to be packed up at 10, wouldn't you assume that you're leaving at like 10?
Yeah, so I'd be done by 9:45.
Right. So I get packed up the last like few minute things that you have to pack up the day of. I get everything packed up in the car. I'm thinking we're getting ready to go. No, he said 11, sorry. I'm getting everything ready to go. I'm ready to go. Everything's in the car. The car is pulled out of the garage. I'm ready to go.
Yes.
He doesn't show up. I wait a whole another 30 minutes. He doesn't show up. It's nearly noon. And I've tried to call him twice. And then I get fed up. And I know where he's having his interview at. So I get in the car. I'm about to drive there. Because at this point, you have not shown up. You haven't called me. You haven't sent me a message. Something's happened to you. And so I'm on my way there. I get to the main street. I see him passing his Jeep. I did a alley-oop and went back to the house. I pull in probably like a few minutes after him. And he's like, where'd you go? I was like, I was driving to where you were having your interview because you didn't reply to me. And we got into this argument because he was like, I was having an interview. How was I supposed to send you a message? I'm like, I thought something happened to you because you go by 11. And he was like, well, they had us do this extra thing, yada, 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 at the end of it. Yeah, and so it's like he said they had us do this extra thing at the end of it, so it took longer than I thought, and we weren't immediately into it. And I was like, okay, you could have sent me a message. He's like, you think I'm gonna send a message during an interview? I was like, you could have literally told them, hey, I didn't know you were going to do this. My wife is waiting for me. Let me send her a message so she knows I'm okay. And we get into this huge thing because I thought like something had actually happened to him, and I was pissed. And he was just all like, I'm not going to apologize for being in an interview. I'm not asking you to apologize for being in an interview. I'm asking you to apologize for wearing the fuck out of me. He was like, it's the same thing. I was like, no, it's not.
I will say that is something that Matthew used to do. So after 40 said it's a typical man thing, I think it's a typical younger man thing.
Two things can be right at the same time. You can say you're sorry for worrying me, even though you didn't do it intentionally. You can say, I'm sorry, I worried you. Nobody's asking you to apologize for doing the rest of the interview.
Like, I would have had nowhere to go, but you guys have made plans and it was for his family, first of all. Second of all, like, again, if you have an extension on the interview, just be like, oh, okay, let me go pee really quick. Go to the bathroom and send a quick text like, babe, hey, just letting you know, they're extending the interview, and this is a really big deal, so I'm going to be a little late.
Even just, I'm going to be late would have been suffice.
Right, because, like, so Starman understands perfectly well, because I would get real mad because he would get out of work. It only takes him 15 minutes to get home. That was an hour and 45 minutes ago. If he does not tell me where he's been, because we get accidents all the time. This town is bad for accidents. And we're not even talking like small ones. We're talking like people, because the speed limits around here are like 55, and people are usually doing 70. Like, people are speeding around here a lot, and they don't use blinkers at all down here. And so, yeah, you need to tell me where you are. And so it took him a while to get used to that. But now Like, again, I would say he, especially after I lost my mom and my brother, I would say for sure he learned, you cannot make me, because now, before it wasn't so bad, but now I will go into a full blown panic. I will blow up his phone. Where are you? Are you okay? That rarely happens now. He will inform me, hey, I got put behind because of this. The only time he would actually inform me extra was usually when he would have extra time at work. And that's because, like, especially when he used to work overnight, we only had one car and I would have work in the morning. So I'd be like, mm, yeah, you can, or no, you can't, or this, that, and the other. Hi, Red. Going to bed soon, but whatchamacalls it? Like, it's stuff like that where that, sadly, I do think that's a guy thing. I don't like that it's a guy thing. And I think it's something that guys have to mature out of, because they see it as a personal attack rather than a, hey, I'm not technically mad at you. However, it was inconsiderate. You should have at least let me know because I was worried about you. And then the fight is over. Like, there is no fight. It's like, babe, I didn't know where you were. Oh, you know what? You're right. I guarantee if he had said to you, shit, you know what? You're right. I should have sent a message. I'm sorry, babe. You wouldn't have been mad anymore. Because the problem would have been solved at that point. He'd have admitted what was wrong, say he'll do better next time, and call it a day. Am I incorrect? Like, it doesn't need to be a blowout fight. I'm not going to apologize for going to an interview. I'm sorry, where did I say you were in trouble for going to an interview? Go find where I said that. I'll wait. And so when my husband still tries to pull it sometimes, I'd be like, you're being catty. You're being argumentative because you don't like that you're being confronted. And I don't give a shit. So you can go be a bitch in the corner all by yourself and be catty. And when you're done having your little fest, you can come over and talk to me like an adult. And I've done that because I won't put up with it.
I was playing when I did the whole I'm not home, I'm going out thing today. I was playing a game with Chicky. And I shit you not, a few minutes in after I told him I'm not here, don't speak to me, I'm going to ignore you, I am not home, I have gone out. He decided to do the most childish bullshit. Oh my god, it was kind of funny.
Oh
I
no.
ignored him. So, since I made him take over for the baby, like, I totally zoned her out. I made him take over for the baby. He knows it's bath day, so he's getting her bath and everything together. And before he fills up the bath, he comes downstairs with the bath and a whole bunch of other things. He's like, I'm gonna do you like you do me. Really, Zola? Really? I need help. He's just like, he has this bath in his hand. He's doing this. And I'm just all like, just trying not to laugh so hard. I was like,
The worst is
oh
when you're
my
in a
god.
fight and they're doing something funny. You can't, because then you're gonna lose. And see, that's something. See, with Matthew, he doesn't always misdirect. What he does is he likes to pretend the fight never happened. And I after years of that happening, I was like, we are no longer doing that. I said, because then I fester. I said, and do you really want me to fester? I said, because then every time you bring up something little, that's stored away right here. Because it never got resolved. So we can have a resolution now and make you uncomfortable in your fifis. Or I can package it up, put it away, and then the next time you really piss me off, I'll unpack the whole suitcase. What would you like to do? And he has learned, let's not unpack the whole suitcase every time a small argument happens. Let's resolve it now and never speak of it again. And I like that a lot better. But I think that
He's recently taken to anything that falls in the sink in my bathroom, because he has this thing about sinks being dirty. That's fine. He has taken it out of the bathroom and set it next to the hallway closet. So I have a tub of rubber bands on top of that tub of rubber bands is my electric toothbrush. Now, mind you, my electric toothbrush is not the only toothbrush we own. I've barely used the electric toothbrush because I left it down in his bathroom when I was still pregnant and I was using his shower. So, electric toothbrush is not one that I use very often. And my right eye contacts
I thought you
are
were listening for something. I'm like, where the hell is she going?
are sitting right next to it. So my contacts are in the hall floor. And so, like, I'm sitting there and playing with Chicky, and he just comes down. He's like, "You're gonna go another day without brushing your teeth?" Because he had brought up the fact that I had put the electric toothbrush away. I'm just all like, "I'm ignoring you. I'm just ignoring you." Just
Like,
like,
did
yeah,
you hear that
she's
wind?
gonna
Oh my God, it's loud.
right. I'm just like, I'm ignoring you. And then he gave her bath. He did all this stuff. He put her to bed. He's recently taken. So she has like this wearable blanket. And like this that he does, if he wants to do it to make putting her to bed easier, I don't mind. He's recently taken to, he puts her diaper on her. And instead of putting her in night clothes and struggling with it, because he struggles getting her dressed. I don't know why.
Tiny
The
legs
night
and all that.
yeah, the night clothes aren't bad. Getting her in her night clothes and her like her little outfits, he has no problem with. It's getting her in the onesies. And I just constantly tell him, just do it like you do a shirt. Put it over her
You're
head,
so
one arm, and then bring it down and clip it. But night clothes he's usually fine, but he's recently taken to skipping putting them on her entirely. So but he takes the time to get the wearable blanket, which isn't even like the most necessary part. So he'll just put the diaper on her and then he'll start putting her in the wearable blanket and she just goes to bed naked. It's like it's like
good enough.
okay,
Good enough.
it's fine by me. Less clothes I have to wash. Look,
Quicker to
I'm
get to
cool.
the diaper too.
I'm cool with it. Look, the wearable blanket has a double zipper. I could just unzip the bottom of it and there we go. Like I'm cool with it.
I will say that is something, again, I'm very lucky. Starman has 3 younger siblings. Getting kids dressed, not an issue for him. Especially because, silly as it sounds, we always dressed Greta. So he was used to taking very difficult arms, tiny arms, and shoving them through sleeves. Because I'd be like, because Greta's like, I don't know if you've seen my dog's Fake Queen, but Greta has like this much fur. And she's a boxer mix with a big barrel chest, and she's got long little legs and little skinny pointy toes. And so in the wintertime, bitch gets cold. So she always has to wear a sweater, maybe a coat on top of it. Then we got to get her harness on. So I will say, dog owners, I think they get a crash course in dressing babies. And so by the time we got to babies with the nieces and nephews, dressing them was easy. And then we had I was a nanny for his best friend's kids. And he had to really get used to it. When we had Sammy and Lorray here, he really had to get used to it because Sammy has autism and Lorray big, long, and leggy. And when whenever we had the kids, we'd have them here like 5 days a week. And he had to get used to really quickly. If I was not home because I had to go do something, he would have to dress them. He had to do all this stuff. So that I think that's hilarious. I'm just imagining your husband being like, you know what? A blanket's better. Like,
The
just
funny
like,
thing, it's the clothes that he doesn't suffer with that he chooses not to put on her. Like it's not like he gets her up in the morning and he's just all like,
what do I do with it?
yeah, no. It's like the one pair of clothes he has no problem putting her in. That's what he refuses to do. He just like, yeah, you're going to bed naked, and I'm just like, this stuff literally zips. It's like it doesn't go over her head. It zips up. Like you have no problem ever putting it on her. That's the one thing you choose not to put on her. Like I would understand if he picks her up in the morning, he's just all like, yeah, I'm not gonna attempt
Or
that.
like pants, shirt. Fuck that. Like,
Onesie that has to go over. No, I'm done. Like
done. That's too much.
that,
Too many buttons.
I can understand that, but
Oh my gosh. Here's
so
what I will
ass
tell you.
backwards.
That's so funny. Here's what I'll tell you today. I am starting to fade and my bladder is very full. So I would say let's because it's also 2:05 where I am.
Yeah.
But why don't you start us out, detail everything, and also, maybe get a few catty shots in about your husband if you want to.
Okay, I'm gonna refer to someone's comment though. The one after 40 said about guys wanting to break the baby, it's not even like that too. This motherfucker is one of those dads that he's one of those dads that he does weird shit with the baby, okay? I can't tell you how many times she's been in tummy time or has been laying down somewhere, like laying down flat, and he'll just grab whatever part of her clothes is like closest to him. So whether it's her back or her front, and he'll just pick her straight up. Just picks her straight up and then puts her. I'm like, it's safe enough, so I won't say anything, but I'm just sitting here like,
You're like, oh no. Oh my gosh. That is too much.
oh,
Where do you want
Jesus.
to talk about your streaming or anything at all, or is it my turn?
So I stream on my Twitch channel mostly every day, usually between I want to say 11, 12 Central, um 12 to 1 Eastern. Um
Good night, Spawn.
um so I want to say that's about what time I stream, and I usually stream most of the day, mainly because I do get up a lot and do things like grab coffee, change diapers, put the baby to sleep, feed her. And most of that you get to see on camera, so you get baby smiles. Who doesn't love baby smiles? You stick around my channel, you better be ready for baby cries too, because they are happening. But we have fun. We react to videos, we play some games, we talk, do makeup, talk shit about our lives. Plot to beat our husbands over the head with a 2x4.
At the very least, the remote control, because it makes a good slap sound. But
Oh, I have to be careful with being a little bit physically violent to him for a couple of days because I made an oopsie today.
you roughhouse too hard, didn't you?
So he was laying on the couch in his like pajamas, and I just saw him laying there. And sometimes we'll like fuck with each other. So I lifted his leg. I was
As
like,
you
"Give
do.
me leg." I was like, lifted his leg. I went to smack his butt cheek, and I missed.
So he's been yelling at you in a high pitched voice all day.
Thankfully, it wasn't that bad because it wasn't like I don't like full on smacks. I hate when people do it to me. It was supposed to be just a little love tap, and I missed, and I like my fingers got him, and I'm just like,
You
because I saw him
grinned,
turn. I was just all like, "I'm so sorry," and he pushed me away, and I was like, "You know what? I understand."
right? Like, you know what? Be mad. That you get. I got the most. Hi, Toasty. Sorry that we're gonna be logging off in a minute.
So after our whole argument, and he's realized that I haven't gotten as volatile as I usually do, it's been over and done with. He's still a little upset. That's fine. I went upstairs and not and no, this wasn't X rated or P rated R or anything. I went upstairs and I gave the boo boo a kissy. Okay. And that was it. He tried to turn it into something else. I was like, no, I'm just kissing the
You
boo
all
boo.
didn't see the video I saw earlier. It was X-rated.
I was like, I'm just kissing the boo boo and I'm going back downstairs.
Think he want a little bit of boom boom instead of a boo boo. But
Too bad. It was over his pants. I was like, I'm just gonna kiss your boo boo and I'm going back downstairs. That's all you're
I
getting.
always
I'm mad at you too.
Orion always nails Matt in the nads. And that's 110 pounds nailing him in the nads. But so for me, guys, you will be seeing me tomorrow night with Miss Hara Amarada. Tuesday at noon, I will be drawing. And then Thursday is part 2 of the Lizzo video. And then next Sunday, I'll be back here with this lovely lady and Miss Peachy. For anyone that's tuning in late, just send out a good luck prayers to Peachy. She starts her new job tomorrow. And just send good vibes my way that everything goes well and I can have this house in my name by the end of September.
And for any of you who happen to be in Star Sands Discord, I am going to be hounding Starsen with a petition that we play Jackbox games on one of these streams. So if you want to help me out with that, because we will let some users or viewers join, Hound her in her Discord. Hashtag JackboxStarSam.
If they're in my Discord, they know I'm never in it.
See, here's the thing. If you ping her enough, she's going to have to see it.
I might. I'll think about it. You know, we YouTubers.
And for every person who does it, I will send her a message basically tallying how many people have done it. It'll start off with a 1,
I better see
2,
screenshots
a
along with
3, a 4.
But with that said, guys, we'll consider this Jackbox thing. For now, I've got a potty, and then I gotta go Betty by it, or as my mother used to say, I gotta do nannies.
And I have to get my ass in the kitchen and make my husband a goddamn sandwich for his lunch tomorrow.
Or he gonna smack her in her in her boo boo,
and then give it a kissy to make it feel.
Tell him, baby, kiss it better. Alrighty, guys. Thank you. Look. See, Rachel knows. Rachel knows me too well. She can't even get me to do what I like. Like, I love the smoots, but I haven't been able to read them. I need to read it. But anyways, good night, everybody. Remember, tonight wasn't too much about mothered. It was more about marriage and how it can make a mother become a smother, and depending on the day. But remember, tell people are important to you, that you love them, to be safe. So, Faye Queen, I love you. Be safe.
Hey.
Good night, everybody.